Dirty South, Southeast, Midwest, my piece, up top, down deep, East Coast, Northeast, copper skin, gold teeth, good green, good eats, cornrows, roll neat, big mama, big chief, still here, ain't gone, told lies, lied on, done dirty, done wrong, Jim Crow shit, niggas ain't fold, our land, our home, leave where, ain't going, big bricks, up north, down south, red soil, real tears, real fears, cards stacked, cards hid, games played, snakes near, Coattail Pro, leaders got killed, shotguns, big house, red clay, big mounds, cornbread, being fed, red bones, dark brown. This is for the tribes I know, copper tone strong, all my folks, prisoners of war, identity, change name, gon' lay in stone. This is for the home of the brave, this is for the land of the free, this is for them real Indians, past to the present looking like me. This is for the tribes I know, copper tone strong, all my folks, prisoners of war, identity, change name, gon' lay in stone. This is for the home of the brave, this is for the land of the free, this is for them real landlords, past to the present looking like me. Landlords, big and small, Seminoles, Chickasaws, Choctaws, Cherokees, all tribes in between. His story been wrong, our story getting told. No ships, no boats, been here, been home. TPs didn't own, out west didn't roam. Fried bread, hell no, soul food, that's gold. Raw troops unfold, our story rewrote, our land, our home, leave where, ain't going. This is for the tribes I know, copper tone strong, all my folks, prisoners of war, identity, change name, gon' lay stone. This is for the home of the brave, this is for the land of the free, this is for them real Indians, past to the present looking like me. This is for the tribes I know, copper tone strong, all my folks, prisoners of war, identity, change name, gon' lay stone. This is for the home of the brave, this is for the land of the free, this is for them real landlords, past to the present looking like me.
Hey, okay. Hey, everybody. Let's change that a little bit. How y'all doing? Man. Yeah. So, a funny thing happened on last night. Good morning. Hope y'all doing all right. Grand rising on this wake and bake. I hope you're feeling the wake and bake mood. I hope you're feeling good all this morning. Hope everything is all right with you and yours. Hope you were able to, slide into a comfortable position at your home and enjoy whatever you have to increase or enhance or medicate your enjoyment process. Y'all, it's so much going on to talk about. I just think it's ridiculous. It's crazy how much is going on right now. It's like overload when it comes to what is going on in the world is ridiculousness. Um, yeah, so we're gonna kick it off with a few small topics, and then maybe top this thing off and take a look at how some religions may be looking at what's going on. I'm gonna be host today. This is I'm Eli. Welcome to the Wake and Bake show. And Nicole's Dewana, she should be joining me after a while. Just give it a moment. Let's see a comment. Cheers. Good to see you, Rick James. All right. And what else we say? Put that up. And so good to see you. And let me see. Y'all know it's so much going on with the wildfires. We're gonna and then maybe I want to get into this stuff about the UAPs. Y'all know the drones are still a thing. Just because it's not being talked about right now those drones that's still out there, and that's still very much uh, a problem out there in the Northeast. But I wanted to get into some of the small talk about the fires because there's a lot going on with this when it comes to how a lot of us are viewing it. A lot of us are viewing it, hey, oh, these are people with money and they got things going on. And while it's tragic, they will be able to easily recover because they have the means to recover. But that's not 100% of the case. It's so much more going on here than that, and you have a lot of people that have had these homes passed down from generations and generations. For instance, I'm told I think it's that town of Altadena. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Aldina or something like that. That's supposed to be a town of a lot of melanated folk, and a lot of those homes were passed down from generations, and now it's become very valuable and basically beyond their financial ability to repair at this point, because it's not like maybe those type of dollars are not still are not flowing through the family. So we have to think about those people, and then you have some things. Uh I'm gonna play some clips, and hopefully we're gonna talk about what's going on with the governor, and what people are saying, how is the issue being politicized, and I want to talk about the mayor. I think y'all, I got some issues. I got some issues with everybody that it's like whenever a Caucasian person criticizes a person that happens to be a melanated person in whatever their position, it's like just because they're critical, it's like some melanated people are so quick to play the race card, like they're only saying that because but I want us to stop for a moment and just consider, maybe, just maybe, let's say, truth be told, Rick, no, okay, yeah, truth be told, just maybe the person is not good at their job. I'm just saying, like, just because it's a black woman, it's a black man, it's a melanated person, whatever, that doesn't mean that they're automatically good at it. That doesn't exempt them from critique. And I think that things are getting ridiculous when it comes to this. And so we got to talk about what's going to happen in recovery. You got the feds saying that they're going to help do this or that, but what does help look like, right? So if you don't have fire insurance, because I hear a lot of the fire insurance companies, they got out of this months before this happened, kind of similar to what the insurance companies did here in Florida. I'm in Florida, and so we have hurricane season, and I think yeah, it's very hard to get some insurance, and if you get any insurance, you only have one choice, and that choice was pretty high. So we have to talk about how are these people going to be able to get back what they lost. Or it sounds like there's going to be a land grab. Okay, yeah, people may be relocated, or maybe to appease, you might not get that land back. Maybe they give you some money to go elsewhere, but you won't get that land back. um and that's co-host. She's saying she should be joining us soon. I wanted to see if I could change something here and put a few things up. Y'all make sure y'all are like, sharing, and subscribe. I want to give a shout out to Kevin McCoy, a Facebook friend of mine. And Kevin, he Sent me a nice birthday cash app. I appreciate that, sir. That really made my day. And also shout out to Chief Kali to he's doing the 110th project again. And that's where he does an event, and they definitely support what's going on in I believe in the Atlanta area. They do some things for the homeless population that is up there with the 110th project. So uh, we're gonna hope maybe I'll get the information before we get off the live, and I can share it with y'all, and y'all can support that. So without further ado, Mel Gibson has something to say. He's causing controversy. Regardless of how you feel about Mel or whatever, I'm not. I'm not a. I don't follow him or anything like that. But regardless of how you feel about it, he uh, he has some things to say, some interesting things to say, and some thoughts to be put out about what's going on with the wildfires. And sounds kind of suspicious. Yeah, a bit suspicious. Let's see. Let's see. I think this is what's this video here? Yeah, I think this is the video. Yeah, I got that video right here. All right, y'all. I'm going to cue up the video with Mel Gibson. I think I want to go to minute 540. And when I talk about recovery, I bring that up because of even some of the things that Mel Gibson alludes to in the video. Just let me get the time right, y'all, so y'all don't have to sit through too much of nothing. Shared screen. I like this circle now. All right, here we go, y'all. Check this out.
At the same time, Mel, there are numerous complaints, as you alluded to, that the fire hydrants did not have water or water pressure, and the LA fire chief herself reacted. Watch this.
My stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants.
Mel, reaction to that?
Well, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, well, is it on purpose? Which it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be? I don't know. Do they want the state empty? I don't know.
Well, Mel, there's already talk, and we played a couple of sound bites of reimagining.
Did y'all hear what he kind of he laughed it off, and let me make sure y'all can hear me. I'm not muted. Okay, yeah, he laughed it off, but what he said there about possibly wanting to stay empty, I'm gonna play another clip here in a moment where you have the governor Gavin Newsom talking about some land development and stuff like that, and it's really weird. It's a Joe Rogan video, and it was a clip that Joe Rogan was showing of Gavin Newsom. I was trying to find the original video, but it was cool. So hey, something's going on. Maybe something is going on, because what is going to happen to these lands? Are you going to see the same people be able to come back? Will they be restored? Why would anybody want to build there? Apparently, there's some people that can, or there's some materials or something that they can do. And then, we got to talk about. I always think of some things, and I don't have these different clips to show y'all. So anyway, I guess I probably shouldn't even mention it. If I don't have the clips to show you. So I hear my co-host backstage. Y'all can, time me in when you get ready, but I'm gonna click on the Joe Rogan video so that y'all can compare these side by side. Let me see. This one is just a clip that I had out of a bigger Joe Rogan video. Give me a second, and Joe gives his take on it, and he thought it was kind of creepy too. And y'all bear with me, my internet down. I'm trying to keep as many things closed because I'm on a wireless connection. I have to be something's going on with my corded connection. So let's share this one. All right, y'all should be seeing that. And check this out.
Front of all this stuff. And he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use,
the development plans.
Watch this. Play this. Give me.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii. You've had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his.
That's weird, right? All right, why are they already gearing up with the legal team to talk about land? Like, why are you not trying to see what the community wants? The people that actually own those properties. What do those individuals want? So what do those individuals? What are they gonna do? So D, I added you. I don't know if you meant you couldn't come on stage, but I just now added you. You're right there. You here?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I don't know. I got knocked out for some reason.
Yeah. So I don't know if you had an opportunity to hear where I've been so far.
Yeah, I was listening in.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was weird too, and I think that those people, rich, and the poor, they have lost a lot. And remember last week we kind of left off talking about whether or not it was felt the same. We were talking about whether or not rich people actually lost everything versus people we know in certain disasters that literally, when their house or whatever burns down, that was literally all they had, and they had nowhere to turn after that. So I didn't know if you want to, chime in, because remember we were talking about that. We left off there last week.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember. No, you can go ahead with the video. I'm listening because I was meaning to watch the Joe Rogan on this the other day, but I just never did. Good morning, everybody. Wake and bake. I am awake and I'm not baked, but barely awake myself actually. But good morning to everybody.
Well, that's kind of what it was for me.
Okay.
Looking at ones with Mel Gibson and what he was saying about them possibly wanting the state. I'll play the rest of this clip with the Joe Rogan, and then I'll probably go back to the one with Gavin Newsom.
Shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to Josh. Look at this. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. I think like 69% of fire insurance pulled out of California because they're like, this is too crazy. Like, you guys aren't doing jack shit to manage this. You're not clearing the brush. front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plans.
Watch this. Play this. Give me.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to Josh. Look at this. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. I think like 69% of fire insurance pulled out of California because they're like, this is too crazy. Like, you guys aren't doing jack shit to manage this. You're not clearing the brush front of all this stuff. And he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plans.
Watch this. Play this. Give me.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas.
I'm trying to show y'all about the whole Joe Rogan thing. Sorry, a little distracted at the moment, but going back to the Gavin Newsom video, where he was, the Mel Gibson video. Let me see this. Let me fast forward. Let me pause it because I'm only gonna have one window open at a time to save as much bandwidth, I guess, as I can. Right here, maybe. Yeah, the chief was talking.
Position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants.
Mel, reaction to that?
Wow.
Well, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, oh, is it on purpose? Which it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be?
Is there a purpose?
Do they want the state empty?
Like, see, he seems to be hinting at there is an agenda to empty the area. That I'm just saying, maybe it's just me, but I think that maybe Mel knows something, or has heard something, some whispers going on in this area. And by the way, his house did burn down, and he lost some things that he will never be able to he'll never be able to replace. Now, couple, we could talk about this here about him having a lot of means, and of course that's not, he didn't, it's not like he's homeless or anything, because he has other places he can go. So we can talk about that too, about whether or not it's the same, for certain people, and whether or not how do we react when it's a person with wealth versus somebody else who would, may have had a home in that area passed down through generations, but there's no way that they would be able to afford the property in that area if they had to, let's say, try to, look for a home in that area today. You understand what I mean? So I'll continue to play the video. Let's see.
Well, Mel, there's already talk, and we played a couple of sound bites of reimagining the way rebuilding occurs. And obviously there's a great need for high density housing in California and across the country. That's a big push by the climate folks. And you're already hearing rumblings of that. In this case, like, goodbye single family homes, hello high density housing.
Yeah. It's pretty scary, and it'll take decades to do that too. It's like even if it if it's a good idea, which I don't know if it is, but Reminds me of the old cattle barons clearing people off the land, you know. But I don't know. I can make all kinds of horrible theories up in my head, conspiracy theories and everything else. But it just seemed a little convenient that there was no water, and and that the wind conditions were right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires.
And you know, back to what I was saying about being critical of people. Maybe I should say this now, and there'd be more interaction, perhaps. Everybody is like very critical of, or everybody is having issues, or people have issues with the critique of Mayor Bass, and Gavin Newsom and the forest management and things of that nature. But it's like when in Bass situation, why are melanated people, when I say melanated people, you know, also known or maybe better known to you as, you know, Black people. When I say that, why is it, what's up, Neo? Peace to Sean. Why is it that we cannot accept critique? Like if a Caucasian wants to be critiqued or is critical of a melanated person that's in a position and it's a negative critique, it's like, it's so easy. So many melanated people want to immediately play the race card as if just because you're in that position and you're a Black person that you can do no wrong. No, it could be that you messed up. You made a mistake, or you did some things that didn't quite paint you in a good light in the situation. You didn't position yourself correctly. You know, in Bass situation, at first, you know, that was my question. They were like, "Oh, she was in Africa." I was like, "Okay, you know, you could have been on the trip, you know, and then stuff happens while you're away." And she came back, and I was saying all that, and until I saw a clip of her saying that she would not be out of the country, or that she would not take some trips out of country while she was in office. And so that was her. She, I guess technically should at least been in the country, maybe not in the city, but in the country. That was her doing. Okay, you shot yourself in the foot. And then when you look at the forest management, there are other places on Earth that would have these same fires, but they manage them different. Apparently, it was not managed the same, y'all. I mean, I'm just saying. We don't have to point the blame. We can just talk about things. When you start to talk about things that could have been done to at least lessen what we saw, I'm not going to even say it was preventable. I mean, you had 100-mile-per-hour winds. These are hurricane force winds mixed with fire. That's crazy, right? But when you start to look at, and everybody's this is always going to be done, no matter who's in office, no matter who's in place, you're always going to look at, okay, what could we have done differently? Where did we mess up? When you start to look at where did we mess up, there are people in position that manage these different things that either have messed up or either worked. And because there are people in those positions, fingers will be pointed. That's just the natural thing to do. Like, come on. I mean, like, for real. And when you start to look at budget cuts, okay, budget was cut for the firefighter. It was definitely cut. Does that mean it would have completely have prevented the whole fire issue, and they would have saved all the homes and had 100% containment of the fire? No, not saying that, but maybe something would have been. Maybe they would have saved more homes. Maybe it would have been better. But all the millions that were cut definitely had some type of effect on the firefighter, on the first responders' ability to fight the fire. I mean, it had to have some kind of effect on it. And I need that clip, man. I think I'm gonna take the time to look for this one. There was, let me see. I mean, it wasn't Joe Rogan showed it. I think he showed it. There was a police chief. She was a LGBTQ police chief. Let me see. LGBT. I mean, not police chief, fire chief. Fire chief. And she makes the dumbest statement, y'all. Like, y'all gotta hear. I gotta hear what she said. Yeah. I think they're gonna play it. I think they're gonna show us it. They may not, but let me see. Yeah, this I think they're gonna show y'all what I was talking about. Y'all check this comment out from this. This is just one of the fire chiefs that's in the area made this dumb ass statement. There we go.
I think we've got time to show you a quote from one of the fire chiefs in LA. Of course, everyone's aware of the situation in Los Angeles, those catastrophic fires that have killed, 24 people now dead, huge numbers of homes and property destroyed. And of course, there's been failures on multiple levels. But I just got to, before we go to a break, show you this clip from the LA deputy fire chief. Now, this is Christine Larson, whose job with the LA Fire Brigade is equity and human resources boss. Have a listen to her and ask yourself, any wonder they've got problems with fires in LA and rescuing people. Have a listen to this.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Just had to show you that.
Did y'all hear that bullshit? So basically, if you didn't understand what was happening, so it's like an interview, and she was addressing her getting the question, if my husband or if my husband is in a burning building, can you drag him out of the burning building? And her response as the fire chief was, he's already made a bad decision if he's in a burning building. What? Like, did y'all, maybe, let me go back. Let me bring that back for y'all. Hold on.
Yeah, that's pretty diabolical right there.
That was pretty dumb. Let me bring that back.
Husband out of a fire, which my response
gives
that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
I just had to show you that because we've spent so much time tonight talking about wokery and DEI. Could you believe a deputy fire chief in a city like Los Angeles says it's really important if you're caught in a burning building that the person who comes to save you looks approximately like you. Otherwise, you'd want to send them back to the fire truck and say, have you got someone who's a bit more sort of, representative of me?
Beard, or you're not carrying me out of this fire.
I mean, real talk though. You know what I'm saying? You sitting up in the house, you on fire, and hey, and Billy pull up, white dude, with a twang in his speech. You go tell Billy to go back and get Tyrone, because you don't want Billy to pull you out that fire. Man, shoot, get out of here.
It's really interesting that they keep throwing out the number 24. And I know last week I said I kind of want to go a little bit in depth, But I had a really super busy week this week, y'all. I was sick. I had to get some dental work done. My mouth was swollen up, so I had a really crazy week. But nonetheless, they keep putting out 20. They keep saying the numbers 24. So I went in. Yeah, if people don't know me by now, like I do gematria. And gematria is basically where the Jews said that God created the world using letters, numbers, codes, colors, and each of those areas carry a very specific energy and weight. So, for instance, for an example, we all seen Martin, the TV show Martin Gina, and the number 42, which is Martin's door number, apartment number, right? So the number 42 is synonymous. And if you start thinking about some things, the number 42 is synonymous with the word nigger, negro. It's a slap in the face towards Black people. For an example, Coco Gauff last year when she won the whatever tennis thing final, that Grand Slam or whatever that she won, she got $4.2 million. The name Martin, Malcolm, all equals 42. 42 and 24 can be interchangeable due to it being gematria. The numbers read from left to right or right to left. So the number 24 has been clicking in my head. I've been seeing that all the time, and so I put it in the gematria calculator that I use, and it has a lot to do with the fires. In particular, it has a lot to do with, where was it? I think it was with the Maui, I believe I saw it. So it's
yeah, they talking about the ones that happened in Hawaii a little while back, and the Lantana
right,
or something
right.
like that.
So I believe that it's connected, and it's connected to the smart cities, or what they're allegedly, supposedly. This is allegedly, supposedly, but I put in where it said smart. I put in smart city Maui, which equals 89, and it's when you're dealing with gematria, because gematria is A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. The first letter being A is 1, and the last letter being Z, which is 26 in that alphabet. And then the reverse alphabet of that, where Z is 1 and A is 26, just to give a little rundown on it. So when I put in Smart City Maui, it had a numerical match for 89, which is your 24th prime number. It's so much connectivities to these areas, with California and Maui. And if we look at a lot of these celebrities also have had homes in Maui that's connected to LA. And I just think it's really kind of, I don't say weird or odd, but I definitely think there is alignment
What's the connection
that's taking place.
Like,
The smart city is the connection, where they're supposedly wanting to build smart cities, and it so happens I have it in my phone, but I'm gonna put it in the back chat for you to post it, Eli. But it just so happens that the areas where the fire is lined up in California, it's where they want to actually put the smart cities at. And just ironic to me. I don't know. I'm a little
that's what
slow.
I'm
I'm a
you
C
have
plus student.
anything you could help us to make, like,
Yeah. Give me one sec. Yeah. If you want to play that, let me go grab this photo right quick.
Because you're in there, you could add it yourself. Because you're in the.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, actually I do have it. Okay, yeah. Let me add it up right quick.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing this one. I'm gonna mess with some of the stuff because I don't really like the.
Yeah, Rick James. Yeah, that 808. He went on that 808 is more connected to that. Remember that song? My heart beat like an 808 drum beat. So 808 is a heartbeat. It's a energy. But it is. Let me get the photo. Let me get the photo. Hold on one second. But you can play the video, bro, if you want. But I'm gonna grab this photo right quick.
I can't play anything. I don't see anything there. You have to.
Oh, I thought you said you had another video loaded up. I apologize.
No, I mean I have stuff
Okay.
that I have from the notes, but if you have something I don't have.
Yeah, I'm just looking for that.
Because my next video will continue on to whatever what we already had.
Okay.
Like
I
the
got to add it as a
whistleblower was the
background,
next
right?
small talk. The whistleblower was the next small talk thing I wanted to bring up about the UAPs and the drones, but that's a whole nother thing. I wanted to kind of stay here for a minute.
Okay, here we go. All right, let's add that. And it's uploading. Okay, here we go. I guess we need to move
No,
over a
you
little bit.
couldn't. You don't put it there. That's not how you do it. You put it.
That's the only place I can put it. I can't put it as a video because it's not a video. I'm on my
No, you
phone,
gotta
so.
share screen.
Oh shit! Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Okay, that's the background. Yeah, I ain't even high. Jeez, maybe that's the problem.
If it's a link to a video, if you paste it in the notes,
No,
then
it's
I
not a
can.
video. It's just a photo.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason it's not giving me that option. Yeah, it's not giving me that option. For some reason, I can
Okay.
either just text it to you or something, or put it in the notes because it's not giving me that option.
Text it to me, and that might be the
Yeah,
quickest way I
that's
can do
kind of
it.
weird.
Just send it in text, and I can paste it in my notes, and probably get it up there somehow.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that's really crazy. It's not let me. It has like where it says presentation or whatever. So yeah, it's not even giving me that option.
I'll be so
That's
glad when I
weird.
get my
All right, let me get that
computer for
copy,
this.
and I'm putting it in notes.
Did you say you go into the note?
Yeah,
If
it's
you
in
just
there.
paste it at the very bottom, where do you paste it at?
I pasted it at the very top. So as soon as you open it, you should
Mhm.
see it. It's at the very top, and it's gonna have you'll see it says California wildfires. You'll see it. My bad. It wasn't with the smart cities. It was with the California high speed rail system, which is going to be part of the smart cities of LA.
Right. Okay. I'll just share this, and then y'all will be able to see it.
That's crazy.
It should be on the screen. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, it's on the screen. Okay, cool. Yeah, basically, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but the fires line up where we see the California high-speed rail system, so which is going to be part of the smart city, which they're supposed to be doing in 2028, and it's just kind of ironic that it's lined up that way. This land is now available for the government to do whatever they want, because we got to think a lot of these people, they're not going to come. They're not going to be able to come back to their homes. They're going to go pretty much somewhere else and build build. And I just think that due to them canceling the insurances for like months prior to, for a lot of these people, a lot of these homes, and now they don't have any insurance money to rebuild those homes or anything like that in that area. So now that area is going to be available for California's government to retrieve that and do what they want to do with it. So they always going around the corner around the bend to make sure that they get what they want, because people are waking up and understanding what's going on behind the scenes a lot. So, and with these actors and actresses, I mean, yeah, I do feel bad that their homes, and because they albeit however they achieve these homes and these items and things that they got, it was still valuable to them, and memories attached to these things. However, I feel, this is just me, I feel that because a lot of these actors and actresses, as well as these sports players, they're all puppets. That's in the game. You know, we talk about conspiracy theories, but they're the ones that conspire to deceive us. And when I say us, I mean the general masses. And I don't feel overly necessarily too bad or for what has happened, simply because they have conspired to help deceive the masses of people to get what they got. But that's just me looking. That's just me looking at it. Hollywood is a very deceptive and
But do you think that
place.
all of them? Because what if there are some? What if this is not a Sodom and Gomorrah situation where absolutely everybody is no good? What if there are some who out there who have not participated in the debauchery, and perhaps they just, you know, because they live out there, they got caught up in a mess. Because I wanted to get into some of that, because you got Christians who believe that, okay, well, God saved one house or whatever for another reason, but then you have some Christians that were burnt out of house, home, and they church burnt down. So hey,
I mean, I'm talking about like are you talking about celebrities? Or are you talking about like just regular people?
well, what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is there are some, you're saying Hollywood and how bad it is, and how they have participated, but I'm asking, isn't it possible that there are some that who haven't? That's really that at that point.
For me, with the actors and actresses and all of stuff, and even when I say the actors and actresses, I'm including these sports players like LeBron, Curry, John Morant, all of them. Whether they realize they're in it or not, or they're being used and played to help deceive us. I don't feel sorry for them, because they doing what they doing to help push the agenda.
So you think just simply by reason of being part of the organization, they deserve a certain degree of what they get because the organization is evil?
I won't say that they deserve it. I'm saying that if they're acting, far as I'm concerned, as far as how I look at things, they are actors and actresses. So I can't really take their word as total truth, you know, because they are out there practicing and doing shit to help deceive the debauchery of it all. So for me, I'm not feeling overly sorry for a lot of these celebrities, because y'all dirty. That's how I feel about them. Like y'all are dirty. Like y'all dirty. So y'all getting either what's coming to y'all, or what we call karma, or y'all in on it, and y'all gonna get y'all money back regardless. Regardless, they're gonna get their money back. So they not really suffering for any losses. Far as how I view it, they not really suffering for nothing. But that's just me
Because
looking at it from a different aspect.
it could be. I mean, some of them will, you know, say because of this, you know, they will end up leaving perhaps because they think that things were mismanaged. And for those, you know, that they think that there's something against them, just like, you know, we see an agenda against, I guess, the common individual that's out here. Some of them see that there's an agenda against, you know, us, but them included. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I can get that. I mean, I can get for that. I can go with that too. But I just look at. I wish I had all my stuff I could put together for you, but when these celebrities come on and start talking about, you know, what they lost and how this happened to them and that happened to them, and I go back and I look at I'll go back and look at some of their movies and things that they said or whatnot, and I look how they got their money and how we have been played as a whole with these celebrities. Like they help push agendas. They help push the narrative for, and I'm not just the whole fire thing or whatever, but they help push agendas in general with men wearing dresses and the whole transgender and all of that on all that stuff. Because we see a lot more of our black males. They're the ones that's dressing up with the, you know, and being displayed like that. We don't really see a whole lot of white guys who's doing that. Like it's more in front with these black celebrities that we see this. So that's what I'm saying is that they're all part of agenda. They all have their little role they have to play from the top to the bottom. And when I say top, I mean from the government, which is what our president, all the way down. That's just how I look at it.
But you got some of them, you know, that don't, you know, they don't do some of the agenda or whatever. Like let's say with the whole men wearing women's clothes and stuff like that in Hollywood. You got a certain number of people that have come out and talked about how they've been blackballed or left out of certain roles because they refuse to do it. You know, Cat Williams probably being right now one of the most popular ones, but there are others who have talked about that they not doing it. You know, like Godfrey, I think he's another comedian that ain't, you know, going that way. You know, so
I just find that funny that Cat Williams played that he said that, because he seemed to forget, even though he didn't put on a dress, he did play a gay choir director in First Sunday, where Ice Cube called him First Lady.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that part in that movie. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, and Dave Chappelle, he wore a dress. He wore he had a little costume on. This was a few years ago, some years ago, I should say, with Howard Stern, that he did a little skit with, where he had on earrings and he had balloons in his shirt to give the appearance of breasts, and he had on lipstick and acting very feminine. So, like I'm saying, they portray one thing and say another. We see what they give us. So for Cat Williams to come on and say that, well, he forgot to check his own damn closet, because he was doing the same shit too. He just didn't wear the dress, but his mannerisms was very feminine in that scene. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. They talk a lot of shit, but for me, I don't trust nothing that these celebrities do.
That's what I'm gonna say. Well, you know, Hollywood is Hollywood, and you got folk that I guess certain parts of the role they willing to do and certain parts they not, but you have to define. That's why it's good to define what we saying here. What are we talking about? Being a male acting feminine? Is that going to be the thing? Is that the issue, or is it a male wearing feminine clothes? All of it, or what they talking about? I don't know. I think it's all the issue, depending on the level of masculinity you have as a man. I think it's all the issue. Just be a man. I don't know how else to put that. Who is that? Let me see. James.
Yeah, I had that video in my phone somewhere. I can't find it, but I think I put it online somewhere. But yeah, I just think these celebrities, man, they in on a lot of things that, of course, the general public is not privy to. But yeah, I don't trust them. You know, I really don't.
You know what I think is one of the most tragic injustices when it comes to the whole celebrity gatekeeping and all that, because
that's the word. That's the best word right there. They gatekeeping. Yes, they are the biggest gatekeepers. You got a small section that gatekeep for the bigger motherfuckers.
Right. Hold on. Hold on, sound ask for something. Yeah, so oh wow. Y'all better get into this crypto game, man. Y'all better get into this crypto game.
And that's all you keep. That'd be like the main word. It's a game. Even the crypto, even the
All right,
stocks.
though.
That shit is
Right.
all a game. Because I don't know. Remember when we had a stock, and this is part of the topic. We had a stock a couple of years ago called PG&E, which is the name of it is called Pacific Gas and Electric, which they service northern California, northern and central California, and their name has been linked to also to the fires out in LA. But a few years ago, about 3 years ago, Eli, we had a stock option for PG&E, and I broke it down in gematria. That's what took me so long this morning. I was looking for that. I was looking for it, but I can't find it. But anywho, PG&E is linked to the fires. And when we did the PG&E stock a few years ago, remember when they had 4 people that died in another fire that's unrelated to this, but it was 4 people that died, and PG&E was sued because they were the cause of the fire. So now I'm starting to think and connect the dots. Are these fires man-made, or are they an act of God? Because PG&E was at fault a few years ago when 4 people died in a fire that they caused with the gas lines. So could it be something connected to PG&E to where these fires started?
So was it 6 years ago? Something like that?
No, it was about 3 years ago. Because I put it in, we was in Discord and stuff like that, but I've changed a lot of stuff in Discord, so I don't have that in there.
I got about
I can't
40
find the thing.
seconds. Let me see if I got about 40 seconds or something.
But yeah, I believe PG&E is definitely connected to it. So we're gonna see, but I don't think these fires are acts of God.
Yeah, these let's see what this one say. This may be what you're talking about, job people.
5 NorCal counties are suing PG&E after this summer's massive Dixie Fire left extensive damage. Butte, Plumas, Shasta, and Tehama counties all filed a lawsuit yesterday in San Francisco Superior Court. It asked for legal damages for injuries to public resources, natural resources, lost revenue, increased expenses, injuries to infrastructure, and more. It also alleges PG&E equipment caused the fire. The Dixie Fire burned more than 963,000 acres. That makes it the second largest wildfire in the state's history. It destroyed more than 1,300 structures and damaged 95 others.
And see, and I know most people don't know. Like, again, the numbers speak volumes, because once you understand the language that's being spoken and talked to, I'm just going to do air quotes for the elites. But once we understand that they communicate through this, what we call gematria, where letters, numbers, codes, and colors. When we understand that they are communicating with each other, the 95, for me, I understand that the 95 is connected to the Jews. It's connected to the 95 Thesis, of which I forget the dude name that wrote. This was way back in the 1800s, 1700s, something like that, or whatever. But it's all connected to the quote unquote elite society. 95 is a very, very strong number. So when we see 95, we see 42, 59, even the number 201 or either 21. Those are very telltale signs for me of what they're saying to each other.
So like for me though, D, like I was telling you, when you talk about it, like you know it, like I don't know it. Like I have no idea what that means to you, like what the significance and all of that is. And I'm trying to
it's basically like a dog leaving its mark or territory when they go pee or shit. So then they know where to come back to, or you whatever. So no other dog or animal can use that spot. So basically, they're marking their territories. And in this situation, in this part, it would be the
like
land.
a signature, like how
Like,
people put
yes.
they say because they do it a certain way.
Exactly.
By
Right. So
certain
so we
numbers
know
that
what
they
a Van
use
Gogh
and
painting.
patterns and
Yeah.
stuff.
Exactly. So we
Yeah,
know what
you
a Van Gogh
know what
painting
a
would look
Van
like
Gogh
because we know
look
his
like
style.
versus Da
Yeah.
Vinci. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a signature mark. If you know, to put it in simplest terms, it's a signature mark. Like they letting us
Okay, I can
know
understand
who's
that.
doing what, because their motto is, you know, we have to tell you, but the way we tell you, you got to figure out what we're doing. Truth hidden in plain sight. But a lot of people are of course don't know about it or understand it. I mean, how many times, like, even if y'all can recall during COVID, have y'all ever seen the number 56? Like they said, the coronavirus, it went up 56%. It was 5.6 million this or 5.6 that. They used 56 quite a lot in the corona in during that time frame. And 56 is very synonymous with, again, the Zionists, with the Jews.
And see, I don't even remember. I wasn't even paying attention like that.
Yeah, it was just because it was just wild to me. I was like, oh my God, these motherfuckers they just talking. They talking a whole lot.
So yeah, I mean, I get that's what they probably doing, but I wonder. I don't know, man. It's just when I look at California, it's crazy how everybody just being wiped out. You know what I'm saying? And what can we all do about it? And what really started? They haven't ruled out arson. You know, on the fires, they haven't ruled that out.
Yeah,
So,
I definitely don't think these fires are is an act of God. They you know, is man-made, because what purpose would God serve in this, in, you know, something like this? What would be his purpose? What would be his testimony out of all of this? Just to say he allowed some homes to be burned and some homes not to be burned, whether they're believers or not believers, because everybody got to get the whole, you know, consequences of California being equated to Sodom and Gomorrah. Like,
well, one Christian I got one Christian that think he might know the answer. Maybe these people in certain ones of these neighborhoods would have never gave him the opportunity to preach the gospel to them. If he wouldn't have gave them the opportunity for this guy to come in and preach the gospel over there, had it not burned to the ground. Now everybody's open to prayer. Let's check this out.
Historic, catastrophic, apocalyptic. Words that fit when you see home after home, neighborhood after neighborhood obliterated by the Los Angeles wildfires.
When devastation happens, it's the great leveler.
Pastor Steve Wilburn is a chaplain with the Los Angeles Police Department. Whether it's a destroyed home here in Pacific Palisades or a charred mobile home along the Pacific Coast Highway, he says scenes like this evens the playing.
This is a very affluent area of the West Side. Probably wouldn't have given me the time of day a week ago. Would not have stopped to talk to me or anything. But today, and when this happened, everyone is open for prayer. Can I pray for you? Yes, please.
Steve's job is to minister, comfort, and stand with hurting people. With tens of thousands of acres already destroyed in Los Angeles County, he's having ample opportunity to do his job.
In Psalm 46, in the second verse, he says, though the mountains slip into the heart of the sea. Now, that's something catastrophic. And I was telling people, this is catastrophic. This is what God is saying, that we don't have to fear in the midst of the most catastrophic thing that happens, but that we can lean on him and he can be our refuge. He can be our shelter.
Whether it's an encouraging word, a prayer, or a quick hug, Steve has been driving these streets since last week, seeing desolation at every turn.
This is a perfect example of the randomness of these fires. To my right, as you can see, utter devastation, home completely obliterated like a bomb went off. Same to the left and behind me. Yet here, this home looks like it was remained virtually untouched.
People have like survivor's guilt. Like like, I can't believe my house is standing. Why is my house standing? And I said, well, can I be the first one that just along with the Lord Jesus and say, thank you, God, for saving my home?
Impact during times like these, including the firefighters.
We were on the street the other day, and there was 4 or 5 houses that we were working really hard to save. You know, and you go into the backyard and you see children's toys in the backyard, you know, and how do you not become emotionally attached to that, you know?
Here's another devastating scene. You see these.
Wait, can you rewind that back for a second, bro? I think can you rewind that back for a second? Right with the yeah, right there. Okay, I thought I saw something with the dude on the firefighter helmet, like right at the beginning when the fire. Yeah. Okay, I thought there was one video that I saw where another firefighter was speaking with a reporter, and they literally zoomed in, and it was the number 33 on his helmet. And Eli, I know you understand what you understand a little bit about masonry. We know, and we all know what 33 is synonymous with, is a mason number. 33 degrees. You know, and all that stuff. But I thought this was that video, but it doesn't look like that's not the one. But I just thought, you know, like again, they speak through numbers, but why zoom all the way into the 33? That, you know, I don't know.
Here's another devastating scene. You see these dozens of cars completely abandoned. When the fire first broke out here, people that lived in these areas were notified by a text that they had to evacuate. They couldn't get out. It was jammed with vehicles. As a result, many, I'm told, had to run for their lives to escape the flames.
It takes sometimes devastation to allow us to see how much we need the Lord.
Steve carries a piece of paper in his Bible.
See how much we need the Lord.
Steve carries a piece of paper in his escape the flames.
It takes sometimes devastation to allow us to see how much we need the Lord.
It takes devastation for us to see the Lord. So is that the only way God can communicate to people?
Sometimes it takes devastation for us to see how much we need the Lord.
But how long California been burning prior to now? How many fires have California had throughout the decades?
Like
is that God's only form of communication for California is through fucking fires and mudslides?
But see, this is what happens when we think that a person, a human, that we can define this whole thing of God. And see, this is why I say when we come to the table to talk about it, you know, either side of the issue, you know, down with religion or up with it, whatever way you want to talk about it, we have to define what this God is. Like, what are we saying it is? And nobody's really doing that. The moment you start to challenge anything, a Christian thinks God can only be, or your definition or thought of a God can only be what the Bible says. A lot of them have no concept of people understanding God outside of the Bible. And this guy right here, he thinks because God can only be what he studied it to be in his Bible, so what he's saying must be the proper reason why that God did this in order to get these people devastated enough so that their hearts can be open to his message. That's why the California burned down. So we can get my message out. You know, he said it again, this neighborhood wouldn't have given me the time of day a week ago, but now I can pray with them.
Man, I don't want no damn prayers that my shit done burned, all my stuff done burned down. I don't want to hear that shit.
God done brought you low. God done brought you low, so I can take you back high. You know?
It's like modern day Job. He took everything away from Job in order for him to get some kind of weird ass glory out of it. Because I call that part of the Bible Ricky, not Ricky, guys, the Mortimer brothers from the Dukes, Randy and Duke Mortimer from Trading Places, where they took a bet, $1 bet, to take these two people, one good and one kind of evil. So Eddie Murphy was the bad guy. Dan Aykroyd was the good guy, the white and the black, the good and the evil, right? So they took a whole $1 bet to turn these people's lives upside down just so they can make a point to each other. So I call that part of the area of the Bible with Job, where God and Satan, the good and evil, took Job with a little bet and say, oh, here, Job, we're gonna call the devil, we're gonna cause all this mayhem and murder and death and all this shit to happen to Job, because God wanted to prove a point to Satan that Job is a very faithful servant. But you got to take this nigga all the way around the bend to lose everything he got, because you knew he wasn't gonna fold anyway, but you gonna put him through all this shit?
Right.
No, nigga, fuck you.
And people be thinking, what I think is crazy about the Job story. Here's what I have, when I was preaching, I remember I would every now and then refer back to that story. And I remember always a point that would be made either in study or in reflection or either in the pulpit, was that Job got back more than what he lost. But since leaving religion, I reflected on it and thought, if you lose your child, even if you get another child, that doesn't replace what you lost. You lost that child.
At all. You can't replace a lot. You can't replace them. And even some things, even some tangible items you can't replace. The memory is still there, but you've lost it. So how is that going to, how you now going to,
and so
give me better?
But think of how cruel that, when you think of it that way, think of how cruel that is. He took something from him forever. It wasn't like he resurrected the kids that died. Now maybe that would have been good. That would have been something. Bring me back my kids that I already lost. Now that would have been something. But that's not what he did. It just says he had more kids. That was it. And he got more animals and all that. Now, material wealth and things of that nature, of course, you can look at that as a replacement, and maybe you learned a lesson in the struggle you went through that's irreplaceable. But you cannot replace those lives that were lost. You cannot replace your kids like that. And I think it's so crazy, y'all, because when you are deep in Christianity, I don't think you never really think of that. Like how many Christians right now, when y'all hear that story, when they talk about Job, how many bring that up, that perspective up? How many of them have brought that up about the Job story, about Job losing his kids and yeah, he'll never be able to replace that. They always say, oh, he got back sevenfold what he lost. He got back everything God allowed him to lose or whatever. Everything the devil took from him, he got it back. No, he didn't. He did not get it back.
He got replacements. He got a bunch of replacements that wouldn't give him the same satisfaction as the original. And that's some hurtful shit. Like, what does any deity get out of doing something like that to people to cause them so much pain, hurt, and anguish? And then they gotta rebuild.
It says in the story, he calls him, hey, he's righteous. He's literally only doing this because of something between him and the devil. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't see how I honestly don't see how a Christian or believer could think that this is a way that God is using to communicate what he wants or whatever. Like how preposterous that notion is. Like you can't say you can't do it in no other way.
No, we gotta burn down Hollywood. You gotta burn down
I guess
Hollywood.
he got to make a big ass entrance. You know, I don't know. He got to make a big ass
Yeah.
entrance. Like, hey, I did this shit. But what's gonna
But
happen?
see,
What's gonna happen when the next set of fires happen?
you know, it's always like they say, like I said in the thumbnail, like I think it's about timing because they're gonna say it's end times. It's end times, right? Let me see, get some more. Let me play some more of the video.
Steve carries a piece of paper in his Bible listing the people he's met during his patrols. It's now his prayer list. Next to it, notes to jog his memory, like the homeowner who cried out in her loss.
And she goes, and then I come out of my driveway and you pull up 5 seconds later. And I'm like, well, we're here to pray for you. And because there is a God in heaven that loves you. And she's like, no. I was just saying, God, if you're real, show me that you're real. And we pull up seconds later.
While wildfires continue to rage in other parts of Los Angeles.
Hey.
He need to cut that shit out.
Hey. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm sorry, man. I think dude retarded. I think something wrong with him.
Man. I would have told him.
I'm
Nigga,
sorry,
please.
I think
Nigga, please. Yeah, he would have got that. Nigga, please. Because you're not going to come and man, look, these folks is crazy. These folks is lunatic.
He said, so, hey, the lady pulled up and she was like, God, show me if you're real. And they pulled up. They pulled up because let me see. Let me hit. Hold on. Let me see. Hit it play right quick.
Many needs must be met here from what those fires left behind. Steve says that's why it's important to have organizations like.
Okay, so it was probably, yeah, he said she prayed or she was like, God, show me if you're real, and they pull up seconds later. I want to hear him say it.
And we pull up seconds. Because there is a God in heaven that loves you. And then I come out of my driveway.
It's now his prayer list. Next to it, notes to jog his memory, like the homeowner who cried out in her loss.
And she goes, and then I come out of my driveway and you pull up 5 seconds later. And I'm like, well, we're here to pray for you. And because there is a God in heaven that loves you. And she's like, no. I was just saying, God, if you're real, show me that you're real. And we pull up seconds later.
While wildfires continue to rage in other parts of Los Angeles.
Hey, I'm just saying, did anybody pray this prayer when the fires got kicked off? Would anybody else pray this prayer when the fire was getting close to their house? Said, God, if you real, pull up. Right now they telling me, hey, no, I'm just saying, check this out, because see, it wasn't like the hurricanes. How like we can kind of see it coming, and they be like, okay, y'all need to get out of here, even though 95 and all that might be crowded. But I hear in the case of these fires, it'd be like minutes. Like you could be chilling at the house, and like how we doing the stream right now, and they could just come through and be like, yo, you gotta go, you gotta get out of here. And you got, you only have minutes, grab a couple things and get the hell out. So I could imagine somebody praying, oh shoot, like, Lord, if you're gonna do something now. If you're gonna pull up now, because they telling us we gotta go. I want my house to be good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like you. I can't do stupid too much. I don't understand how that him pulling up to help pray for her when she's going through
God is
all
real.
of that shit. I guess that means God is real because this nigga showed up.
Yeah, that's what, because he said she was saying, what did he say? If you're real, let me go back to what he said.
Right, if you're real, 5 seconds later he pulls up, so that means he's real.
In my driveway, and you.
There you go.
Like the homeowner who cried out in her loss.
And she goes, and then I come out of my driveway and you pull up 5 seconds later. And I'm like, well, we're here to pray for you. And because there is a God in heaven that loves you. And she's like, no. No, I was just saying, God, if you're real, show me that you're real. And we pull up.
There you go, right there. She was like, God, if you're real, show me you're real. And he pulled up. He pulled up. Hey, God said, hey, bet, I'm pulling up on you. I'm pulling up on you right now, not to restore your house, not to, put out the fire, not to feed you, not to make sure your finances are straight and all your family are fed and well health. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna send you this crusty, retarded dude, and he gonna pray for you.
Just to show that I am real. Oh, okay, God.
Because
Okay.
you wanted to know if I was real. This what I'm gonna do. This what I'm gonna do. I got you, fam. I
I guess
got you. You wanna know if
he
I'm
wasn't
real?
real no other time prior to that.
I got you. You wanna know if I'm real? Check this out. This how real I am. I'm gonna send you the very best I got. And
Well,
I'm gonna send
go to
you.
hell.
I'm gonna send you this hunched over retarded nigga here. Look, man. Look. Don't ever question my existence again. You hear? That's what he telling her. Look, I'm real, and I'm finna pull up on you right now and show you I'm real. Look at that. That's crazy, right? And dude loving it. Like he think he's really that guy. He's that messenger. He is that tool, that conduit of God. God is using him. God, you can't tell him that God is not you, because he said it in the beginning. He would not have been given the time of day in that community. They would have like, why are you he wouldn't have been allowed on them streets, he said. He said, but today
because of these fires, now people are wanting to hear and see and God and that God is real. But prior
he
to that,
said
y'all
that.
didn't give a fuck.
He said that. Where he
Yeah,
at?
they didn't care whether they didn't want to hear shit he had to say prior to that. Like you
It's
said.
the great leveler.
Pastor Steve,
there you go, right there.
Apocalyptic. Where's that fit when you see home after home, neighborhood after neighborhood obliterated by the Los Angeles wildfires?
When devastation happens, it's the great leveler.
Pastor Steve Wilburn is a chaplain with the Los Angeles Police Department. Whether it's a destroyed home here in Pacific Palisades or a charred mobile home along the Pacific Coast Highway, he says scenes like this evens the playing.
This is a very affluent area of the West Side.
Listen.
Probably wouldn't have given me the time of day a week ago. Would not have stopped to talk to me or anything. But today, and when this happened, everyone is open for prayer. Can I pray for you? Yes, please.
No, sir. You may not pray for me. You may continue to walk on somewhere else and go do that shit. Because what my thing is, like, what's the point? What is the point of praying? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the point? Because if everything's supposed to be within inside this God's will and everything is predestined, then what the fuck is y'all praying for? This was meant to happen according to God's plan. God's plan. God's plan. And I ain't gonna sing because I sound terrible, y'all. But look, this is supposed to be something that God orchestrated from day one. All this is predestined. What is y'all praying for? What's the point?
He had to humble them. He had to humble the rich. He had to humble the affluent. So they need, and now prayer is their active submission toward the greater power that is higher than themselves, that they had lifted themselves above, and now the Lord has allowed them to see the light, the apocalyptic light of fire tornadoes. And now everybody is good, right? Everybody when they pull up and see that burning, smoldering houses, we can pull up. We'll pull up and pray, like on the lady. When they praying in front of the smoldering, burning patches of land, we gonna pull up, and now they gonna say, yes, please pray for us. They want that prayer now. They didn't want it then, but they want it now. Back then, didn't want me. Now they hot. They all on me. They did want me.
I mean, do we really think, again, with going back with these celebrities, they don't give a damn about no God. They don't give a damn about no God, because God is not the one that's paying them. God ain't the one that's giving them the money with these scripts and movies and TV shows and bouncing balls and throwing balls and kicking balls. God ain't the one giving them the money.
Right.
They don't give a fuck about him.
Well, I'll tell you,
they can care less, because they got the money to move on and to rebuild and do and go on. They got the money to do that shit.
Right.
So I'm not getting it, because if it's gonna take God to do all of that to get my attention that he's real, then I'm wondering, like, what's the point of these pastors preaching every fucking Sunday, Wednesday, and maybe Friday night services and stuff like that? What's the point of y'all preaching and teaching and hooping and hollering if God is going to just show you a different way that he exists?
Right, that part.
I was reading through a bunch of comments, like I was reading through some comments yesterday. I was watching the video. It was kind of lengthy, so that's why I didn't put it in the notes. But I was looking at the comments, and a lot of people was like, "Oh, the video is basically it was a pastor saying how God is in control of the fires and this, that, and the third, and blah 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 blah, and this is God's message to Hollywood, and that because Hollywood has mocked him for so long." And I'm looking at the comments, and I'm reading and I'm reading with people just like, "Amen. God is not to be mocked, and God's going to cause fire, hell, and brimstone to those who mock him, and we better get our lives right. The end time is near." How long we been hearing that shit about the end time is near? How soon is near?
Oh man. Okay, so I had a video. I got Jerry's video. Jerry Changed Sanders. Jerry is a rapper. He wrote this song, Contradictions. Man, that it's nice, but I don't have that queued up. But I got the video queued. Well, it's Facebook, so I have to log in to see if I can show y'all this video. I think it's queuing up. Okay, it's there. I don't hear it yet. Okay, unmute. This is a Facebook video. I'm gonna try to play Jerry, and hopefully this Facebook works, because it won't give us no problems. There we go, y'all.
Supposed to last. Notice it's not called the last years. It's not called the last millennia. It's not called the last 2 millennia. It's called the last days. So
hello, Walls.
How are the last days supposed to last? Every time it's something bad happening, okay, you got the fire in LA. You got the people got ran over in New Orleans, right? So these supposed to be the last days, right? Everything blowing up, catching on fire, this and that. How long has that been going on? It seems like the last days is an excuse for bad things to just keep happening. We just making excuses for it. Like, how long have we been seeing bad stuff occur on this planet? Haven't we learned our lesson by now? In these so-called bad days, if you read your scriptures, you will find out that for the sake of the elect, God was supposed to shorten. He is supposed to shorten the last days. So if the last days are supposed to be cut short for the sake of the elect, so how long is the last days?
Yeah, so it kind of in there. So the last days, when we talked about this, and I see that text up there. What? That's a text I use for something else. What'd you put that one up there for?
Because I was looking at it where it says, God also is bearing them witnesses, both with signs and wonders and with divers and miracles and gifts of the Holy Ghost according to his own will. So if this so-called is a sign and wonder of God's him showing his visibility to people according to his will, again, why the fuck is people praying for
For it not
anything
to
to do with
happen
these?
if
Yeah,
this
well,
is
not
part
even
of the
not to
will.
happen. Well, not even for it not to happen, because it was going to happen regardless, because it's inside. It was something that he orchestrated from day one.
Right.
But what are y'all crying for? What are y'all
Yeah, I
upset for?
mean,
Why
it's
y'all
supposed it was
mad?
gonna
God's gonna
happen.
replace all y'all shit, right? So what do y'all need proof that God exists for when he's telling y'all that this is something that I orchestrated?
Well, the Christians say they don't need proof. They saying that's the other people. The other people, the ones that asked God to pull up. She wanted to know if God was real, and he pulled up on her. With Eve, he sent crusty dude.
Man.
So, but one thing I wanted to say about the last days that was in that same book of the book of Hebrews. I'm thinking in the first chapter, and probably near the first verse of Hebrews, it talks about God hath to know in these it says in these last days spoken unto us by his dear son. So if he's spoken by Jesus, here's the thing I try to point out to Bible thumpers is that at the time when the text was written, those people back then, 2,000 years ago from today, those people back then considered themselves in the last days. Like then.
Exactly. Because he said something very important, and that key word in that scripture was these.
Right. These, and that's in Hebrews. If you go where you whatever Bible you pulled it from, if you go to Hebrews, if you go back to it and go to chapter 1, you'll be able to see the verse I'm talking about. I'm trying to keep the pull low on my computer because I am on that wireless connection. It's already probably pretty choppy on the
No,
other
it's actually
side of
it's
things.
running really smooth, to be honest with you.
Good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
turned everything, like I got all my other devices off the network and tried to make this one a priority. So hopefully it's pulling enough for y'all. But yeah. If you got the Bible up, or you I can pull it up. I can go to
No, I
Blue
don't.
Letter.
I don't have the Bible up.
I can go to
I don't
Blue
even.
Letter because I want people to see that it does say that in these last days.
It's just so funny that preachers, ministers dude we was just on the video, like they have so much to say after the fact of something happening. People want to plead the blood of Jesus after the fact. And my sister made a statement. This was some years ago, a couple of years ago. She and I was talking, and she asked, well, we was talking, and she asked, she said, well, what good is the blood of pleading the blood of Jesus after the fact? Because the blood is supposed to be the power in the blood, right? And there's power in the blood, and you're pleading the blood. Why that shit not working? Where is the effectiveness in this whole power of the blood? Why are we
Like,
not
what is
seeing
it
any
supposed
modern
to
day
do?
miracles or nothing?
What is it supposed to do? Right. And so, all right. So we're shifting now into like a Bible study, and I'm glad you asked that question. You say like, what is it supposed to show? That's in chapter 2 where you were at. But look at this right here, and then I want to go to that in chapter 1. It said, God who has sundry times and diverse manners spake in times past to the fathers by the prophets. That's talking about, that's like Old Testament, because that's them of their day talking about what was in their past. That would have been their, the Old Testament, because it says in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. But then it says, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his son. So whenever the book of Hebrews was written, and even though we don't know who wrote it, we know it was written, it wasn't written 100 years ago. So it was written a lot longer than that ago. So whoever wrote it, and if the Christians consider this inspired text, they have to say, well, those were the last days. So you telling me the last days was 2,000, near almost 2,000 years ago now? That was the
Yeah.
last days. I mean, and you have to admit that it had to be. Now go over to, like, watch this with chapter 2 with what you're saying. Watch this in chapter 2. Chapter 2, it's gonna get a little small again. I hope y'all can see that.
Yeah,
This is
I can see
why
it.
when people say, oh, well, you're a non-believer, so you shouldn't tempt God in asking for a miracle, or you're not going to be able to pray and then God provide a miracle or something. No, that's not what you get to claim, because in the Bible, he clearly gave people the ability to do miracles so that it would convince people. And that's
Exactly.
this text right here. It says, therefore we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. In other words, we should definitely listen. Well, why should we listen? For if the word that was spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience receive a just recompense reward, how shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation, which at first began to be spoken by the Lord, and was confirmed unto us by them that heard? And here go the key verse right here, y'all, right here, verse 4. God also bearing them witness. How did he bear them witness? Both with signs, wonders, with diverse miracles, as different miracles, and gifts of the Holy Ghost according to his own will. In other words, rhetorical question. In other words, he's saying that God bared them witness. He showed who they were by the miracles. So that's all we saying, Christians. That's all we saying. We saying if you bought their life according to the Bible, he gonna bear you witness. And apparently he bared this man and this lady witness according to this video. She was praying, hey Lord, if you real, pull up. And it happened.
Show yourself. I mean, because the Bible say prove all things. So if this is an act of God, then it would have to be proven that this is an act of God. But all I see is that this has been an act of man and not God. This is by human control. There's no God controlling this and doing that with these fires.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
we got to be some new age nuts to continue to believe that God is controlling these acts, these serious acts of I call it violence, because this is violent for some people. Some people will never recover from this. We went through Hurricane Hugo in 1989 in Charleston, South Carolina. It was a category 5. Not even if you drive down 17 going to South Carolina, some of the trees, nature never recovered. So how in the hell are human beings supposed to recover from something as catastrophic as this? It don't make sense. Now they got to make it make sense, because it ain't making sense to me.
I have no idea. I did want to I did want to share something with y'all I thought was funny. I saw it Donald Trump. I guess they take these pictures when you become the president. They have this portrait that you take each time. And we have his portrait that he took from the first time he took office. And that's the first time he took office. And if y'all are watching the screen, I'm going to scroll down. Here's what he how he took the picture this time. He's getting ready to take office. Donald is not playing with y'all, okay? Y'all better, y'all better
Look,
get
I
at
don't know
them
about
damn
y'all, but
hostages.
I can't wait to Monday to see him get inaugurated. That I can't wait.
Hey, does anybody know if Hamas has given up the hostages yet?
I don't think so.
Because Donald ain't playing, man. He said all hell is going to break loose if they don't release them hostages by the time he take office, and I believe him. I believe him.
And you know what? And again, why these particular hostages? Why now? Why the
they
case
got some
now?
Americans. They got a mix of everybody. So they got some Jews. So it was some Americans over there, and I think they got some other European countries that was all in the mix out there partying, and they rolled up on them, and yeah, you know.
Yeah, but how long these hostages have been over there? And not even them. What about the hostages that's been there? Why are we not trying to get them out? It's something
I don't know,
like I'm saying,
but
these particular what's the word I'm looking for? Issues that we see come through the media, like this Hamas, where they want to, release the hostages. That's been ongoing. So why
So you saying they had
now?
hostages before the little festival event back in October when they invaded?
Well, I'm just saying, like
Before the
in general,
paraglider
there's
incident?
hostages always. There's some type of hostages always ongoing. So with these particular hostages in this particular situation, for me, I ask for myself. I ask, well, why now? Why are we so fixated on these particular hostages at this particular point in time? What is behind the scenes for this? Because truth be told, we see hostages on a day-to-day basis. There's hostages on a day-to-day basis. This shit that go on all the time, but then
when you say that, what do you mean though? Can you narrow it down? When you say just a narrow group of hostages in the Congo somewhere, like what do you mean when you say that?
I'm just saying, like when there's been hostages prior to this set of hostages that Trump is focusing on, right?
I don't know. It's been the same type of incident. I know there's some incidents bigger than that. I know there's always an incident. There's always something going
That's
on.
what I'm saying. There's
But
always
what do you
something going
mean?
on.
Like,
There's
so
always
so what would you actually focus on? Because I mean, can you focus on every issue? You can't really do that either.
My thing is, what message are they trying to tell us and give us with this particular set of hostages? Why are they so fixated on these hostages and not hostages before them?
Because
Whether
that's
it's
what's
in
in the
Hamas,
forefront.
whether this is why what's the connectivity?
Maybe they'll say that's what's in the forefront right now. That's what's going down right now. I don't know. I have no idea why they would say otherwise.
That's just how my brain works. I'm like, I think about, like, for instances, we see, like, you live right there in Jackson. We right here in Jax. I'm gonna use Jordan Davis because that incident happened in Jacksonville, where he got killed. It was like a few months or something like that after Trayvon Martin. But that shit goes on a day-to-day basis in Jacksonville. Somebody getting murdered, getting unalived or whatever. That shit goes on every fucking day. But we don't pay no attention to it. We don't give no credence to it. We don't give no prayers to it or anything like that until the media tells us this is what we need to be focused on and praying for and doing this and doing that. So why are we so fixated on these particular hostages and none of the other hostages? Is, to me, like, again, I said earlier, they use communication, they use these situations to where the Bible is coming to fruition because it's behind the scenes that man is controlling these things. So why are we so emotionally invested in this, but not the other ones? That's just, to me, that's just how I look at the
So like
news.
you really threw me. You really threw me because I'm looking at it like issue over here and an issue over there. You went from Jordan, that you went from something local that's here, and I'm on an international issue. I guess I don't even look at those as the same on the
But
same
isn't
field.
wasn't that an international issue at the same time? The whole
I don't
that whole year, nothing but
how
all of that shit was going on. I did like a little breakdown on it when it first happened. But my whole point was I'm saying is that yes, is that we can look at it and you can say that that's not international. But what I'm saying is that gained a lot of traction. But that shit goes on every single day in Jacksonville and no one bats a fucking eye. But then now the media tells us that we need to pay attention
so
to
what do
this.
we go
Just
what do
like
we talk about then? Because when you say it that way, it's like, well, what do you talk about then? Because we could talk about, how it's crazy and screwed up, with the whole Trayvon Martin type issues. We could talk about that, but then again, we're talking about an incident where some paragliders came into an event over that some Israeli kids was having, or not really kids, but some young adults was having. It was a national event. It made national news. It's got a war started, and they took hostages, and so we're just kind of looking at that at the moment. That's it.
or maybe I'm talking over y'all head. Maybe that's what it is.
No, well, I'm just saying if I'm looking at that, I could see that right there could be a different issue.
It's the same. They all intertwine is my whole point. Like
And
when I
then
was saying
tie it in
early,
for us. Tie it in.
I
Tie it
really
in the
can't. I
thing.
really got to get dressed for work. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, I got to get ready for work. But what I'm saying is these situations that we seeing going on, even with the California fires, we only get emotionally invested because the media tells us to get emotionally invested in these things, in these situations. Like if the media never told us about these about
Yeah.
the hostages in Hamas, would y'all give a fuck? Would anybody know about that shit? No. Would anybody care about
If
it?
you don't know it,
No.
you probably would if you can't care about what you don't know about. If you know about it, maybe. But if you
Now that
don't
you know
know
about it,
about it,
do you even care about it? It doesn't affect me. Because they've been having hostages over there. So why I got to pay attention to this set of hostages? What's the point? That for me, that's how I look at it. Like,
okay,
what
if
is
you
the
put it,
point?
you
Because
could
this
put
shit
it
go
that
on
way.
all the
Then
time.
okay,
You know what
all
I'm saying?
right.
Like it goes on all the time. So why are we paying attention to this and not
Because
the other
with paying
ones?
attention to it, okay, all right, you're already in it, whether you want to or not, because of where the president-elect said it's going to go. So there's an investment and it's going to affect us somehow. So some people choose to pay attention to it because it's going to affect us depending on what happens. Whether you care about it or not is one thing, but it's gonna affect some things depending on what happens. That's what I think.
I mean,
But
I
yeah,
guess. I
you
mean,
could
like I
just
said, maybe I'm over your head because my whole thing is like I was saying, these situations happen every single day. We don't bat
they
a fucking
do,
eye
and
about it.
that's why we talk about them. They do.
Yeah,
They happen every single day.
and we don't bat an eye. We don't bat an eye about it. We don't talk about it. We don't give any attention to it. But as soon as the media tells us to give attention to something, we tune into it.
But what about when we tune out? Media tell y'all about something, and then because the media don't talk about it, then we stop talking about it. That what
Yeah,
is that all
same
about?
difference. Same difference.
And
We
it's
only
just
pay
as
attention.
important, like this
Exactly.
drone issue.
Right.
They're still
Exactly,
out
bro.
there.
Exactly, bro. What are we paying? What are we not paying attention to when they telling us to pay attention to something else? Because it is all a game.
You asked me if I had another video. I did have one, but I was gonna skip to the drone thing.
Oh yeah,
This
go ahead. Because I'm getting ready. So I'm just gonna give you like
well,
talk for like 5 minutes. I gotta get ready for work.
whistleblower coming out, y'all. New thing. If you're into the UAPs, UFO thing, there is a new whistleblower. And he's not claiming to be secondhand. This is a first-hand account. And it's supposed to come out, I believe, tonight at 8 p.m. on News Nation. I'm gonna play y'all a clip from it, and I don't know about y'all, but I think this was an important one. One of our viewers, Gasper Roberts, on the channel, he was talking about how he believes this is the only issue people really need to be discussing and talking about. And when you think about it, I mean, that's a pretty important thing, y'all. Hold on, let me share the proper screen here, get you up and running. Here we go, y'all. Check this out.
All right, UFO sightings the military can't explain. Congressional hearings, Pentagon whistleblowers, armadas of strange aircraft flying over, of all places, New Jersey. What does that all mean? Well, since last year's groundbreaking interview with whistleblower David Grush, News Nation's been out front on this story, and we've got another major exclusive. A new whistleblower is coming forward saying he's not just saying he's heard about a secret government program to retrieve UFO crash remains. He says he's worked on this program. He claims to have video to prove it and credentialed colleagues who back him up, and he has the attention of at least one senior lawmaker. News Nation's Ross Coulthard has been working on this story for more than a year. He conducted the interview for a special report airing right here this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And News Nation correspondent Joe Khalil is here with a first look. Joe, these are pretty stunning claims.
Yeah, they are, Elizabeth. The man you saw in the video, Jake Barber, he's an Air Force veteran, and he is coming forward with some shocking claims. The first person to go public saying that he actually participated directly in a secret military program that he believes was to retrieve UAP or alien craft. Now, Barber says he was contracted as a helicopter pilot. He retrieved all kinds of crashed craft. Some of it, he says, top secret and explainable. Others, he says, however, he believes were non-human origin. It's not just him. We've got 3 other military veterans backing up his story on the record and on camera to News Nation. So take a listen quickly to just part of Ross Coulthard's conversation with Barber.
So tell me about the moment when you realized that you were involved in a retrieval of non-human technology, alien tech.
So it became very clear the first time our communication process and procedure was modified. And then just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
How close did you get?
Well, I was a helicopter pilot, and I operate with 150 foot to 200 foot long line. So I got within 150 feet of this object.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we would know. There's no engine, there was no thermal signature. I was operating at night when I finally came in to pick it up. So I'm working under night vision goggles at the time. And it was quite clear. I flipped them up, flipped them down, and looked at it a couple of different ways.
How did you know that that egg-shaped object was non-human in origin?
Well, visually, after seeing all kinds of things in my past, it was clearly something that was ridiculously looking. It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the reaction by my team, we all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary.
And at no stage were you ever subsequently told that the craft was of non-human origin?
I will tell you that during this process over the last couple of years, it's been confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working with that night was in fact NHI, and it was not a unique experience.
NHI,
so Elizabeth, Saturday night, 8 p.m. is that special that you can see here. They've also got some exclusive video of one of these retrievals that's never before been.
And so tonight they supposed to show this video. It's supposed to be some retrieval going on, y'all. This is relevant. This is crazy because I remember having a talk, and Ricky, I don't know if you might see this. Ricky, one of the Christians I used to talk to when I was doing the Voice of Eli show, said that it would kind of have an effect on his Christian beliefs if it were proven there were aliens or something from off world, other intelligence coming here from other locations. And so I don't know, maybe Christians entertain that. Is that something that would affect, or maybe you think something else is going on? Maybe it's all a hoax. Maybe it's the government and they're just going to make you think it's off world. Maybe it's something that's other, it's not human. Maybe there's another intelligence, but it's right here. It's just something that's always been here. I don't know. That's the speculations. We, different ways we could probably look at it. But just something to think about. I think that this is an issue that people are sweeping under the rug when we start to talk about stories and things happening all over the place, but we let it die down. These drones are still out there, y'all. I'm trying to see. I thought I had another video on the drones.
I don't think Christians believe in UFOs. I really don't, because this is me. I don't know. No, again, what in my mind I think is like this. I say there are aliens out there. So I mean, God would have created them, right? So if God created these aliens, these foreign entities, bodies, are they supposed to succumb to the same ideologies that there's a heaven and a hell, and if they don't accept the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that they not gonna make it in? So are they saved too? That's just the way my mind works.
I think it breaks the reason it breaks the worldview for some Christians is because in the Bible and the story that they're given and how this story is supposed to play out and when the end would come, you think if aliens are going to bleed into that, that's something that their God, that would be mentioned in the Bible, because it's like that kind of interferes with the great theme of the story, because in their view, there's no mention of that. The only alien thing is not alien to them in the sense of Jesus coming back, with angels. They don't consider that alien in the sense that when we talk about non-human intelligence. But I think that's going to be part of what remains to be seen here. And I think that's why Christians would have an issue with it, because it's not spoken of. And it's like with God, why wouldn't you tell us about that? If you're real and you're telling us about how the world is going to end and all this is going to happen, you'd think he would have told us about, somebody coming from the Pleiades and telling us to shut down the nuclear systems and all that before we blow ourselves up. You think he'd tell us about that?
Yeah, do aliens pay? Do they have to pay tithes and offers? Because if they're not paying tithes and offers, then why the fuck y'all paying tithes and offers?
Yeah.
That's just me. I think silly conspiracy shit. I don't know.
No, that's good, because
that's cap. Like, how do you get away from having to pay tithes and offers when that's like the backbone of you getting your blessings and your cursings?
But I think the other thing too, though, is if you have this other intelligence coming, right? It's clear we already think, okay, they have a higher intelligence than we do. So it's like, if they have a higher intelligence, what would be their view of the divine? What might they say? And then that's kind of scary, right?
That's
for
interesting,
the believers,
bro.
because they could then turn around and provide some alternative knowledge and say, no, that's not where y'all come from. No, we know how y'all were made, or this is how it's made, or we made y'all, or y'all are us. We're just y'all from the. It could be so many different crazy things that I don't think anybody can say that they just know. And I think that's what really jacks up religion and makes religion, because religion is in a position where it almost has to claim to know, and you can't know. You just can't. I shouldn't say we can't know. I will say we don't. At the moment, we don't.
Facts. Like who, for the chat, and you guys listen out in the chat. How do y'all feel about the UFOs? Do y'all believe that there's UFOs out there? And like, what are y'all thoughts on that? Drop it in the chat. Let us know what you think.
Let me see. There's drone, because the drones are still out there. And shout out to Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee. He's really been leading the way. Trump said he was gonna they wouldn't tell us what the drones are. I think I got a clip of him saying that, Trump. Drone. Because nobody's talking about it, but I think we need to
Yeah, I just don't think it's fair for the earthly Christians to have to pay for club membership, i.e. tithes and offerings, and the aliens don't have to pay for it. Like that's not fair. I'd be
but you know
pissed.
what? It could be something totally different. Like maybe they they might bring a whole new crazy religion. You might be supposed to be worshiping, well, who is it? The Scientologist Xenu or something, some crap like that. Maybe the Scientology was right. Maybe the aliens got their own thing. You were supposed to be worshiping something else. This is the creator of the universe, and we've studied it out, and here's the logical proof of it all. Maybe they got the evidence for whatever it is. That could
be true too.
Because they supposed to be smarter than us, so it's like, okay, they know something, right?
Right.
And you look kind of silly if they could offer something when it came to the creation of the universe. Be kind of silly not to try to find that out, what that is, if they know more than you.
But do you believe in aliens, bro?
I don't know. I don't think we can know right now. I think what's going on is not definitive enough for me to say it's off Earth. Right now, I think everything that has happened, per my knowledge, seems to be well within I think is well within human capabilities to make it happen. So, all right. For instance, just because we can't explain something, y'all, don't mean aliens did it. Okay, that. I mean, just for me, I don't think aliens built the pyramids, but they clearly there, and that's just the one everybody knows. There's so many structures all over the earth that are unique and have unique properties that we either cannot produce today, or say that the civilization that they come from, they should not be there because that civilization did not possess a certain technology, but yet it's there. So having said that, that would kind of be alien to us of today, because we don't know how they did it. And so I don't think you can say, say that just because you can't explain something, it must be alien. That's no different than the Christian saying, just because they can't explain something, then therefore the God of the Bible did it.
Exactly.
You can't. I think that's a jump. So I say I don't know, sis. I know I seen that. Huh?
No, you go ahead.
You seen that movie? What's that movie? The guy did the movie, dang, with the thing in the cloud. It was supposed to be like an alien. And is it Key and Peele? Them two guys.
Was it Don't Look Up? No, that's not it.
Was it? No, not Don't Look Up. That's Leonardo DiCaprio.
I know what you're talking about, but I cannot think of I can't think of the movie, but I know what you're talking about.
It was this crazy movie, and then it had a part in it where like a chimpanzee or something was
oh man,
some kid or something.
Yeah.
What was
That's crazy because we watched that
called?
a couple months ago. Shit, I know what you're talking about, but I absolutely cannot recall the name of it.
Oh man,
because it had old boy from Slim and from Keke Palmer played in that movie with the old boy from
from Queen and Slim.
Yeah, from Queen and Slim. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
that movie.
exactly what
And
you're
they was
talking
like on
about.
a ranch, and then them little
Yes.
things was like peeking out.
Man, let
Oh
me look
man,
that
that was
shit up because you
spooky.
that's gonna stress me out. Let me see.
But yeah, y'all, so here,
That
while you looking
was
for that, let me play what Trump is talking about here, because he said he's gonna tell us what's going on with the drones, y'all. He's gonna tell us what's going on with the drone once he takes office. Let's hear what he says.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster. Want to know the truth. They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an
So that's what he said a while ago about him. He joked about not, having his weekend in that area. But y'all, why is this not a preposterous thing for us to? It's something up there. You're being told, okay, it's not a foreign government, and I myself, I don't think that it could be that, because I can't fathom them being allowed to do what they're doing, and it's a foreign government. I mean, they've had to shut down certain operations at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. It's weird when if you want to say, okay, well, there has to be drone laws. If these aren't, I don't believe these are just some civilian operators. We know that they're not just random people flying drones. They would have been arrested by now for flying the drones where they're flying. We know that. So what is happening, right? Like, what is it? Okay, well, that leaves us with, in my opinion, it's us. And when I say us, it's our government knows what's going on. It's probably our equipment, and they are looking for something. Now, what they're looking for, or if that's what it, or monitoring, I think they're monitoring something. They're looking for something. They're monitoring something, or they are posed for something. Like if something happens, they're putting something in position to be ready for something to happen. Anticipation, perhaps. But I don't phantom this would be the enemy allowed to just stay up there like that. This has to be something that is approved by us. You get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And the name of that movie was Nope.
Nope.
Yep, it was called Nope.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what you think of when them things peeked out from around the corners. You thinking, nope. That's what you be thinking. You remember that part when he was in like the bar and the little mask thing or whatever? It was like the kids was messing and they were peeking out from behind the corners and crap real slowly. That
Like,
joke
oh,
was
hell
so
no.
creepy. It's like, nope.
Oh, hell no.
And I think
Not
that's
just
when
no,
he
but
first
hell
said
no.
it. You know how they always say the title of a movie, and I think that's when he first said it. He was like, "Nope."
I'm about like, I mean, I gotta see it in order to believe it at this point. Like if because like you said, if we're gonna believe the aliens without proof, it's no difference in people believing that there is a God without proof.
Now, you know what? All right, let's get crazy. Let's go down the rabbit hole with this. This is what I'm thinking, D. So, all right, hold on. Let me see. Let me get my thoughts together. So when they say non-human intelligence, right? NHI, non-NHI, non-human
I was wondering what that
intelligence.
meant. I was gonna ask, but I ain't want to seem stupid. But yeah, I'm glad you see how the universe will bring shit together. But go ahead.
Non-human intelligence. So when they say that, and you have already working as a foundation of human knowledge, you have evolution, people that believe in evolutionary theory. Would it not be possible to manipulate the human genome in such a way that you could produce something that's not human, but higher intelligence, or of an intelligence that's like that's human like, but not human? You do you get what I'm saying? Like a different
Yeah,
type of human, like
different
it's
type of
not a
human.
human,
Yes.
because they don't consider, if you have some of these names of these hominids, like Australopithecus may have been a hominid, but it's not human. But they say it was in the human family. So you could take a human, Homo sapien, and modify it where its intelligence may be even more intelligence, to the point where you don't consider it Homo sapien, it's something else and it's intelligent. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And maybe that's the definition of this non-human intelligence, because I would not put it past, if we made all this, I don't think we can be as naive as to think that our government wouldn't either do itself or contract companies. If they made all this advancement in the mechanics dealing with metals, inorganic material, right? Why wouldn't we think they would do the same thing with biology? It's just science.
Just the same. Exactly. I don't trust their ass.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that there's supposed to be some studies out there. One of my kids at the school was telling me that they're trying to do the Jurassic Park thing. They've harvested the DNA from the dinosaur times, and they're trying to cross it with certain reptiles today to see if they can bring back certain of these animals. And I'm like, man, this is crazy, yo.
But you know
Doing
what?
that shit.
It ain't niggas out there doing that shit. Yeah, I ain't got nothing against white folks, but y'all do some of the most outlandish shit that we don't even think about. White people love to be in control. And to me, that's just the bottom line. They love to be in control and gotta know the why of every fucking thing. Why would y'all bring some goddamn Tyrannosaurus Rex back out and scare every goddamn body? Why would y'all do that? What's the point?
But look at the warning was right there in the movie, right? You saw in the movie how they had all these safety measures, all this stuff that they thought was gonna be in place, and how they could control it. And dude told them, he said, well, I'm not saying that I know how it's gonna happen, but he was basically like, in the movie, I think it was a dude that played from The Fly. I can't remember his name, the same dude in Independence Day. He said, life finds a way.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, life finds a way. And you don't even know where you came from. Now here you are, you're gonna bring back a freaking velociraptor, and it's gonna decimate the planet. You don't know what that thing will do. You know what I'm saying? With how things are today, you have no idea. It probably, if it's extinct, it probably should stay that way. If nature has determined it don't need to be here no more, it probably don't need to be here no more.
I mean, I honestly never thought dinosaurs existed in the first place, because how we know they went raw and all that shit. Like,
I don't
where they
think we
get
know what they did, but I think it's all right. So here's my thing with that. I think they were here. That we have evidence now.
what
How we
evidence? To
depict
my
them,
bones?
some bones, how we depict them, um, does not mean that that's what they are. Because now they talking about, oh well, they had a lot of them would have had feathers, and that they're more like birds, and like chickens and stuff are more built like how the dinosaurs were built. Okay, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. The evidence that they give us is what, mainly the bones. Like they resurrected whole ass dinosaur bones from the rooter to the tutor. Where the fuck y'all getting these bones from? Because according to science, also, it takes what, 70 years for bones to fully disintegrate into the earth. So how are you distinguishing bone griddle
70
from just
years.
regular sand? Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's more complicated than that. You gotta know
I'm just
the fossil is
saying how
actually made.
I'm just saying this is what science says. Science says that bones disintegrate after 70 years into the earth. This is what science says, not me. They said it, not I. That's what they said. So if they saying that bones disintegrate, takes about 70 years for bones to fully disintegrate into the earth, how are they distinguishing in that this is a bone from regular fucking nitty gritty sand? Y'all got whole ass bones out here with dinosaurs. Where y'all getting this shit from?
No, it's not. Because I don't think a lot of it is bones. But like I said, if you looked it up,
But that's what
I
people
think it's more
think though, Eli.
complicated than that.
But that's what people are. We gotta realize this is what the masses think, not what you and I think. This is what the masses think. They teach us from early on when we go to the little museums and all that shit that these were real creatures because they have this big ass thing resurrected with the bones.
Yeah,
But
they
if bones
showing us
is
what it looked like, with the cast and stuff and with the fossils. How the fossil is created is another thing. But it would have showed us what this particular thing possibly looked like. Now, do I think they get them all right? I don't know. I don't know enough about the paleontology
I mean,
of
what
it,
are
but
they
I
basing it
think
on?
something
We
is
weren't there
there.
to see this shit, but how do they know what this look like?
You do have the evidence of like a whole head or skull or something like that, and it's a weird creature. It's something that we don't normally see today. I'm not even past the fact that some of them might still be out there. You hear stories of what's the name? How do I say it? Mokele and Bimbe. You hear that's what they call it in
My bad.
Congo.
I'm getting ready for. I'm getting
And
ready for.
Mokele and Bimbe looks like the Loch Ness monster or plesiosaur, and they say that thing is out there right now. You know, the locals describe something that looks just like the scientists told us was a plesiosaur, and that's still out there. So what I'm saying is that is a dinosaur. That's a living. That's what they're calling a dinosaur. It's just a made up word. It's a word to describe these animals that were living during this time. So I don't get caught up in like the word of it, just like people get caught up in dragons. Okay, dragons were. That's probably what the ancients meant by dragons. They made up a word. Their word was dragons. We call them dinosaurs. Same shit. Whatever. But people get so caught up in oh, you think dragons exist? Well, they you know, it might not be your definition of a fire breathing flying dragon like from Shrek or something like that. You just have to go by what the people use the word for. But I think I don't know. I think history and all of it is so strange. That's why it's so interesting to me. I like looking into it because you never know what kind of crazy stuff you're going to find. And when you start to talk about when we start to talk about the alien issue, people have to also think the alien issue is not something that's brand new. Supposedly, there's evidence of these things going back to cave paintings, medieval century art. That means we're talking about something being depicted flying around not just 100 years ago, but 3, 4, 5, and even thousands of years ago. So that is, I mean, even if we say they might be doing it today, who was doing it 200 years ago? Who was that?
That's true. I'm agreeing with you on that one. But again, it's what they put in front of us. How do we really know that what that information is true too? I mean, we just have to believe it.
Well, if you say it that way, then I would say, well, then there's nothing to look at, because then you only can talk about, evaluate what you go and you physically see. Like, I wouldn't be able to talk about Egypt because I haven't been there yet. But I mean, I think I got enough evidence to suggest that the pyramids actually exist. I think I got enough corroborating evidence.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one for sure.
But yeah, some people, they don't even want to acknowledge that exists, or the lack of something. And that's the problem with the Exodus. Christians want to act like that happened, but even though lack of evidence is not evidence of absence or whatever, that one is a huge one. That's not an event that takes place and would not leave a mark on the planet. It doesn't make sense. And if it's honest God, why would you want to cover your tracks? You wouldn't do that, because when we get ready to investigate it, that's going to just validate you are who you are. So don't tell me that he covered the tracks and not the same. And why would you do that when you also are the God we just read a moment ago? He's the type that bears witness with signs and wonders and everything. So
there we go.
That wouldn't make sense to be a God that now I'm gonna hide all the miracles I did in Egypt. Or that wouldn't make sense. So you're not gonna do that. So did it really happen? No, it doesn't. It does not. Yeah, it doesn't rise to
the math ain't mathing for me.
Huh?
I said the math ain't mathing for me.
Right. It really is not mathing out. It's not. Let me see. Did I have? So I did. Well, I hadn't reviewed that video, so I don't know if I want to go there with that one. But I think that you have a certain number of Christians too that, going back to the wildfires, they see this as this is God's judgment on Hollywood. Hollywood is no good. And this was just a matter of time. This is what needs to happen for it to be purged, cleansed. God is repaying Hollywood for all of the atrocities throughout the years and everything that it has done. And they've been deceptive. They've been part of the game. Kind of like we was talking earlier. They've been part of the game. So yeah, the one that's this God is fixing them.
Like the blind man said. Like the blind man said, we gonna see. Because like I said earlier, I asked earlier, what happens when we have another set of fires coming up? Maybe 3 years, maybe 2 or 3 months from now. God still sending messages?
Well, I think we're gonna have to look at this too. Let me make a I've been paying attention to some other information and some other podcasts, because America is not really getting all of its news anymore from the legacy media and the mainstream media. I think there's something to be said about what's going on with the podcast. The biggest one being Joe Rogan, and another big one now, Sean Ryan, the ex-Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
And so I think something is happening. Let me give you my take on this. So, how do I put this? First, well, let me get out the one that's in my head first, because I'm a little tipsy here. Let's see. The one that's in my head first. I think there's a possibility that that they know that America's getting this information from podcasters like that, and that it has the podcast has our attention. So I think they want to discredit some of them.
Absolutely.
I think they want to discredit in certain guests, and it's so subtle in how it's happening. I don't know if Joe Rogan and Sean are even aware of it, because I'm not. I don't think so. I mean, they could be part of it, D, but I don't think
Mm-hmm.
some of these guys are in the opposition, but I think they could be controlled in a way that they don't
That's what
know.
exactly controlled opposition, which is, and Cat Williams is going to be your perfect example of controlled opposition.
Yeah.
Because
What I mean by they don't know it though. What I mean like is this. Like let's say, all
but
right,
I'm saying that they do. So that's I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm saying
I'm
that
gonna
they
say
do
that they
because
probably don't.
they're controlled. It's
I'm gonna
controlled
say,
opposition.
but you can control without a person knowing. You can steer a person
Yeah,
in the
I
direction you
get you.
want them to go in, and they don't necessarily know your agenda for having them go a certain direction. You see what I'm saying?
I see what
You
you're saying.
you
Yeah.
you feed them information that makes them make a decision based on their morals, their values, and their logic, and it makes good sense to them. But it's actually the way you want them to go, and what
Mm-hmm.
and what I mean is in this case, all you have to do is bring certain guests. For instance, like you you bring enough you bring enough Billy Carsons, okay, on the podcast. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You bring enough Billy Carsons onto the podcast, right? And then you have somebody like Wes Huff come on, and who's discredit him outside of the podcast. Then you have Wes Huff come on Joe Rogan, which Billy Carson has also been on, and Wes Huff
Mm-hmm.
comes on, and he gets Joe Rogan believing that the Isaiah scroll is 100% roll word for word. The Isaiah scroll from the Dead Sea Scrolls is 100% accurate, and Joe is like
Uh-huh.
believing that, and you can clearly tell he's believing that. But then
Wow.
that's not really true, because now you got other podcasts. You got Derek from Myth Vision, and Neil from Gnostic Informant. They're calling out Wes Huff, and what's happening here? So what I see, I'm like, well, dang, that's a subtle way of discrediting or trying to discredit in some way Joe Rogan, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because it's letting them. It's gonna confuse the guests. Oh, you can't really trust the people who he has on, because this is going on and you can't get your information
Right.
from that. And I think they did the same thing with They tried to do it with Sean Ryan with this Cybertruck bombing thing. They had to come out and say that the email was actually sent from Matthew Livelsberger. They had to come out and actually say that he got the right email. However, by them putting it out and him actually killing himself, that I think they're also trying to discredit Sean. And I think Sean is trying to do the right thing, but in trying to do the right thing, they're playing their hand in such a way where you're going to mess yourself up. But that's what I think is happening, or could
I
be
was listening to
happening.
some little kids in the road with zero adult supervision, and
It's
people, I
crazy,
don't know.
right?
But anywho, I mean, yeah, I'm talking about
Well,
five or 6 year olds.
that's one of the things I think is that could be the case, because we clearly know that the podcast helped. I mean, Joe Rogan's podcast helped when this past election, when you had a candidate that could sit down for 2.5, 3 hours and talk on a podcast. You want that in that quality. And when Kamala refused to do it, that really hurt her campaign.
Yeah, she refused, I guess, but you know, maybe she did, maybe she didn't, maybe she was told to do it, to refuse so it can, you know. But I just, like you were saying, that the podcasts, these bigger platforms, people are not going to the news stations, watching the news as much as they used to. Because, like you said, they're online looking at the podcasters' news because they're coming across a little bit more authentic, I would say, than the media is doing.
Right.
That's
Right.
what people. That's what people are saying.
Right. No, that's absolutely what's happening. They're being, it's coming across not only more authentic, but I know while I watch some of them, I look into the things as they're saying. Sometimes in the middle of the show, I'll pause it and I'll look into it, and it's making good sense, or the evidence checks out, and I'm able to get the full story. A lot of times on the news, they only have so much time. Everything is rushed, and we are people that have become so accustomed to that. We miss so many of the issues, so many of the things we want to talk about, y'all, and get an understanding. You have to spend more than an hour talking about them, okay? They have little nuances to them, and you really have to flush out some of the details, but we want to just blanket everything and make everything simple. Everything's not that simple. And we have to stop doing that and give each other enough patience and time so we can talk. And sometimes we'll have to agree to disagree, but we've gotten to the point where it's like we cannot even entertain an opposing idea. We don't want to, we're not mature enough to even hold an opposing ideal in our head while we ponder it to see if it would make any sense. We just get emotional and we don't want to look at it. Like for instance, what I was saying early in the episode about the criticism of the management of the wildfires, and people that are melanated people, they get so mad when like a Caucasian person is critical of Mayor Bass simply because she's a quote unquote black woman. Now, I think we also got to stop acting like just because a melanated person is in position that they know what they're doing. They may not know what they're doing. We got to stop being so sensitive and wearing our heart on our shoulder just because a non-melanated person, a white person, is critical of somebody in the position. I mean, Gavin Newsom too. I mean, they critical of him too. We don't say the same thing about that when they are critical of him because he's a white guy, but they're calling him incompetent too when it comes to his management of the forest and things of that nature.
You talking about the lady that was on vacation when California was burning up? To my her?
Right. People were saying, oh, the only reason they're being critical of her is because she's a black woman. And you know, I don't know their motivations, but I think we got to take a step back and look at this, because I think some of that might be getting out of hand. Every time there is a white person being critical of a black person does not mean they are racist. It might just mean the Negro don't know how to do his damn job.
Look, that's so funny you saying that, because yesterday at the shop, I worked with Chris at the shop yesterday. So we was older gentleman. Every time I'm up there, he seems to come in and get a haircut. It just kind of lines up that way, and we always have a good banter back and forth, right? So he was talking about Trump, and I could tell by his language, his words, that he don't like Trump. So I mentioned to him, we were talking about the inauguration. I was like, yeah, I kind of can't. I was like, man, I wish I could go to the inauguration. I really wanted to go. And he was like, for what? I said, what? What you mean for what? I want to see Uncle T get inaugurated. I want these illegal immigrants up out of here. That's one of the main reasons I voted for the nigga, to get them niggas out of here, right? So I was saying to him, I said, I don't really think Trump is as racist as what the media portrays him and label him to be. And he was like, well, kind of got a little huffy with me. I'm like, calm down, Grandpa. Let me explain why. I said, if you can't give me a reason If you can't give me a valid reason, definitive proof of that he was racist, then you just using your own eye lens to look at him through the media, which is painting him as a racist individual. So give me an example. So I think he said something about his like some of the apartments that he wasn't allowing black people to live in, right? Because of quote unquote their race. So before I could answer, Chris was like, "You wouldn't let some of them niggas in your place either." Like, it is. Like, it ain't got shit to do with race. So, some of you niggas don't keep your shit clean. Don't keep their shit clean. No, it ain't got shit to do with it. That don't make him racist at all. Does it? I don't think so. But that was just, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think so. Also, I'm also considering, though, when I say I don't think so, the other rumors, I'll just call them rumors for now, that I've heard of things he's done in a positive light for melanated people. There's things that I know publicly Judge Joe Brown has publicly put out there, some stories, and I say that as a public figure's name that people can go and look up. He tells a story, is the way Judge Brown says that there were some melanated people trying to get loans to start businesses, and they couldn't get loans from banks, and so they were told to go see Trump, and Trump gave a few people some loans for their businesses, and when their businesses turned a profit and they were able to pay him back, they brought a check to him for the amount to pay him back. And they said that Trump ripped up the check in front of them and said, "Don't worry about it, go run your business." Now,
boom, there you go.
That's not too racist to me. If you know what I'm saying, like, you don't.
Exactly.
I'm just saying a real deal racist don't do that. They ain't finna do that for you.
They damn sure ain't. You ain't getting my money, nigga. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They may not say that out. They may not say that out loud, but that's the thought that's gonna probably be in their head. I ain't getting these niggas no money. What y'all crazy? We ain't finna let y'all niggas come up.
Right. I'm not gonna be the stepping stone to help you rival me get any closer. I gotta keep you under my heel, keep you under my foot. Why would I help you start a business? And then when you come to pay me back, why wouldn't I just accept my money back? Because now you got to start from that platform. If I don't accept the money back that you trying to give me, that just give you even more of a boost.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Like, I don't. Right, and it's like, I don't know what we were talking about. I guess we just kind of just talking at this point, but what would be the point, like you said, of him giving the money? They get back on their seat. He rip up the check. That's not a racist motivation at all. And I think where we missed the ball at with this past election, well, almost every fucking election, we do not put ourselves first. I'm talking about black folk in America.
Right.
We missed an opportunity yet again because we're so blinded collectively that this is an old racist cracker. Now, I ain't saying this. This was this is the general consensus of what people are saying. Yeah, old racist white man. And I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck if this nigga is racist or not. He was going to help black Americans before he got out of office the first time. I think it was like $500 billion for black business. Yeah, like no other president. And that was me and the gentleman, me and Grandpa was arguing about. I'm like, yo, he was offering to do this. I said, what has Biden done? He says, you talking about Biden? I said, Biden called y'all niggas predators. He said, he don't even want his kids going to school with y'all niggas because y'all don't know how to fucking act.
He said, you're not black if you didn't vote for him.
That's the same shit I said. He said, y'all niggas wasn't black enough if y'all didn't vote for him. I said, but y'all fell for this shit again. I said, instead of us, we complain so fucking much about what we ain't got and this, that, and the third. You got the goddamn black churches who took up last year alone took up over $11 billion fucking dollars last year alone in tithes and offerings, and our neighborhoods look like shit. But yet, we got a so-called racist president who was willing to help us lift up an economic flooring plan, but we're so consumed by fucking race. We keep playing. We don't even play chess no more. We fucking playing Uno and spades. While they playing 5D chess.
Dang.
Like,
Wow.
come on. Like, they saying by the time 2053 roll around, Black American deficit will be at a 0. So why do y'all think they keep bringing all these fucking immigrants and all this shit over here? They're replacing us right in our own face, and we not realizing it.
Right, and that's what I thought was glaring when you look at the Planned Parenthood and the numbers being aborted since that late 70s, being about 19 million, and then when you look at the amount of illegal immigration, I think over the last 4 years, being close to that same number, I'm like,
Same number.
that is
Same number.
crazy.
Same fucking number. And look, and it's not. And if we look at our leaders, our so-called black leaders, a lot of them not even from America. They got the face, they got the skin tone. Some of them got the nappy ass hair like us, and some of us got the good hair like us too. I ain't gonna, if you got police hair, you got police hair. That's just comb it, Kevin Durant. But anyway. all that money that nigga got, he will not invest in a fucking comb, bruh. You can get it from a Dollar General. They're $1. But anyway, you got these people who look like us, who act like us, who talk like us. I'm a prime example. Busta Rhymes. All these years, I never knew Busta Rhymes was not a native of America, of North America. He's not from America.
No,
Yeah.
he's Jamaican.
Yeah, he's Jamaican. So he's a Kamala Harris. He was just able to assimilate into the culture very well because of his skin tone. But yet, this nigga was capping for Kamala Harris a lot. We get these people in these places, and they have no connection to us except for the money, the business part where they come and assimilate our culture and all that shit. But they don't really give a fuck about us. They don't. They don't care about us. But we got these people in these places that ain't doing nothing for the communities, but we hold on to them so near and dear because they look like us. They act like us. They talk like us.
I still would like to. I'm circling back to that point that we made, like, because we have become so whiny and in this victim mentality that, again, just because a white person is critical of a black person, it doesn't make them racist. I mean, if you're in a public position, that's what you're open to. You're open to the criticism because that's what happens in those positions. If you're a mayor, if you're a city council person, if you're a governor, people are going to look at you and evaluate what type of job are you doing.
Right, exactly, and that's what he was saying about he said, I can't wait to see what these black jobs. Trump said I said, come on, man. I said, I don't know how many times I've heard other black people say, talk about black jobs.
Right,
I said, because he said the phrase that they're taking the black jobs from y'all. That's all you fucking focusing on is that they're taking he said that they're taking the black job. He said black jobs. Y'all ain't worried about the jobs that they're fucking taking. Y'all mad because the way he phrased it. But other niggas said the same shit.
But that's the same phrase we use.
Well,
I mean,
say they taking y'all niggas'
should
jobs.
he have called it? What should he have said? The jobs that are commonly filled by our African American population. Is that what he should have said?
He said that, they still would have had something to say. Oh, now we African Americans. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Y'all been calling yourselves African Americans. Shut up. They find any damn thing to say because he said it. Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous at this point.
Right.
It is ridiculous.
It is so crazy, and we can't. It's you know what I think again is the strength of it, and what's actually working for Trump around the world. It's not so much just him. I think it's the world is seeing his personality put with a nation that is actually behind him because he got the popular vote. So I think what the rest of the
Exactly.
world,
Yep.
yeah, the rest of the world is saying not only is he who he is, but he will be able to be that in full force. And he has a nation behind them. People over there are united. I think that's what the world is bracing for because they like, oh shit, America's about to flex his muscles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you got niggas behind Trump now too, and that's what I told Grandpa. I said, well, we can't use that racist shit that Trump is racist. I said, because you had a lot of black folk that stood behind Trump this time, and out loudly they stood with him. So we can't be using that. That's bullshit.
Right, right, and
Hey, man.
I think it's so much going on. We was joking the other day, me, and we was joking at work, and sometimes the kids will spin like the globe, and they'll point and they'll say wherever you point to, that's where you gotta visit in the world. And I think one of the kids spun the globe, put his finger down, and he hit Pakistan. and everybody in the room was kind of looking like, oh, you don't know if you would want to do that. And it got me to thinking that out of all the stuff that's going on, y'all, when you look at it, our country is very unique. All right, in the documents that we have, whether you want to say they wrote it with us in mind or not, these truths we hold to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Hey, they didn't consider you a man, but you are a man. You are a human. You are that. Whether they considered it or not, you are that. This document is the only one like it in the world, and that makes us very unique of being, deriving our rights from just being existing, from being here, not giving our rights from the government, but just having those rights, having a right. We arrived here with them. We weren't giving them by the government, and that's a very unique position to be in. And we're the only, like, just about one of the only nations people are, drowning in the oceans to get to, and dying, and killing themselves to get here, y'all.
Man.
So one thing I think the boomers do have right, because I remember talking to a baby boomer about this years ago, because I was talking about leaving the country, and one of the things he said to me was, with all the problems America got, he said, this is the one place I'd rather be. This is the one place I, rather be. And when you think about it, it's hard out there in them global streets, y'all. And it's jacked up. We got some real issues here in this country, but right now this is where we got a fighting chance, and I think it's good because, and now like I know I could get on talking about we was all this our land anyway, but I wasn't really getting off into that subject because some of us been here from day one anyway. But my point being is that this is coveted land. People want to be in America. So we gotta stop acting like, we gotta stop shitting on our own country all the time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got some screwed up crap going on. But at some point,
Them American Africans ain't gonna do that.
man.
Oh, Josh want to come on because I'm at work, so I'm
kind of have to jump off, but Josh wanted to come on if that was okay.
Yeah, he can come on because I was gonna get off, but it'd be good to have somebody come on and maybe we can give it some more time. You want to? I can drop the link in the chat, I guess. Let me see. I think I can put it here. Oh, come on. All right. If somebody will come on, there is the link. I guess if you can click on that there, and we'll give this last 30 minutes or so to it, and then y'all chill out on my hair. This is my haircut day, so I can't do anything to my hair in the morning because it has to be fresh for the cut after I leave here. Is it on? Y'all there? Drop the link. I like that. I put the link on. I don't hear. If you are joining us, make sure you are liking, sharing, and subscribing. We're gonna be doing this every Saturday morning, waking and baking, y'all. Getting back to that nostalgic feel of the Saturday morning cartoon feel, and we're gonna talk about what's going on in the world today. Today, I tried to bring back a little bit about the fires and how we were talking about that. Mel Gibson thinks they want the whole state empty. And which is one reason for a lot of the mismanagement going on. We still got the drones out in the Northeast, still over Jersey, stopping or hindering military flight operations and stuff, which seems very strange if this is uh, if this is us. I mean, it's just strange all the way around. If it's military, why would they have to now neglect their operations by delaying them? If it's an enemy, why haven't they shot it down? All sorts of craziness. But looks like we got somebody joining us now. I'm not gonna even attempt the first name, but Nike 903.
Hey, what's good, y'all?
What's up, man? Hey,
I'm
thanks
just
for joining us.
yes. Hey, Wanda. Hey, how's it going?
I'm good.
How
I'm at
y'all
work, y'all,
doing?
so I'm in and out.
I'm gonna be truthful, y'all. Man, I'm down here in Texas, man. I just recently, got out of jail. Not a
Mm-hmm.
bad thing. I had a couple of tickets. I sent my little fees and stuff out, but I'm happy to be here with y'all. What's going on? What we talking about?
Well, no, we were just chatting about on the topic. We talked about the wildfires. I was just recapping a little bit on some of that. We talked about the wildfires and how I showed a clip of Mel Gibson and he was asked what he thought about some comments that was made about the fire and how the water management and how all that happened. And he said, he kind of joked about them. Perhaps they want the whole state empty. So thought, a lot of people didn't have their fire insurance, or the fire insurance companies got out a few months before all of this, and so they don't have that insurance. We talked about how this is not just rich people, but some of these people have passed these homes down from generation to generation, and now that the house is burned down, they really won't have the money because of the expenses of the time to rebuild. They have literally lost everything that they have, like in the towns like Alta, I think it's called Altadena. That's like a predominantly quote unquote black area. And they have them people, they probably gonna lose a lot. They probably did not have don't have the money to rebuild. So that's what I was bringing up about the wildfires. Um, if you want to, put any input or have any input or familiar with any of that, you can comment on that too.
Yeah, I would say just, to me, it seems like it's always a hidden agenda to everything they have going, on top of being a distraction. But I was just found out it was basically in affluent like black neighborhood as well. So like what's the purpose behind it all? Like to me it has like a correlation to like Lake Lanier and like what happened in Katrina, like towns where we're dominantly basically living in, they always like burn it out or flood it out, so just to like build other things. And like to me it's just a hidden agenda. Like it's it's a rhyme to the reason. Like everything has a purpose. And I think it's just another attack against our people in a sense. I didn't know at first how many that it was our group that was affected as much, but it just seems like another war tactic against us to get us out the way for what they say is a smart city that they're trying to build. So you got to watch these people basically. But I got a lot to coming on. But
Right. No, that's crazy. Like it's you when you mention the lake though, I know this isn't the lake you was talking about, but it made me think about the geography of California, and there was a lake. It was called Tulare or Tulare. Let me see if I can find this for you. I have a picture. Oh, that looks like a video right here. Yeah, there used to be a big freaking lake in the middle of in California, y'all. And I think due to humans and the things we do, it got used up. Y'all check this out, just in case you didn't know this. Maybe somebody didn't. You might find this interesting. Check this out, fam.
Know about this massive lake that used to exist in California and how this gigantic body of water disappeared, all due to one crucial mistake by the US government. The Central Valley in California wasn't always farmland. It was a freshwater lake called Lake Corcoran that flowed through the Carquinez Strait into the Pacific Ocean. Lake Corcoran was by far the largest body of fresh water west of the Great Lakes and was even larger than Lake Michigan. But Lake Corcoran's growing size actually started becoming a major problem. This lake got most of its water through rainfall and snowmelt coming off the Sierra Nevada mountains. As temperatures started rising rapidly 6,000 years ago, unusually high levels of snowmelt was overflowing Lake Corcoran. These Sierra Nevada mountains today get insane levels of snow in the winter, so you can only imagine how much snow and ice was on these mountains 6,000 years ago when the Earth was a noticeably colder planet. As the water and snowmelt was rushing down the mountains into the lake, all this excess water eventually needed to go somewhere. The water levels got so high that canals started forming in eastern California, draining water out of Lake Corcoran and into the Pacific Ocean. The lake was originally draining mostly through the Salinas River, which led out to Monterey Bay. Another one of these canals that formed north of the Salinas River was the Carquinez Strait, which led water to a low-lying valley off the Pacific coast. Water ended up settling in this valley and formed the San Francisco Bay. These channels got deeper and deeper, where more water was able to rush out of the lake and into the Pacific Ocean, with more water outflowing into the Pacific than inflowing from the Sierra Nevada mountains. Lake Corcoran eventually shrunk to just this body of water here, which would be known as Tulare Lake. Tulare Lake was still the largest body of fresh water west of the Mississippi, and actually existed all the way up until 1930 when the US government made their crucial mistake. California was entering a massive population surge in the mid to late 1800s, where the California gold rush was bringing people from all over the country to California. These people all had to be fed somehow, so farmers began emerging in the Central Valley, which used to be Lake Corcoran, and developed farmland in this lush region. Because it doesn't rain much in California in the summer, farmers were having a tough time growing crops in these hot and dry summer months. That's when they looked to Tulare Lake for help. Farmers began digging canals from Tulare Lake, which led water upstream to irrigate their land. Tulare Lake was still getting their typical inflows of water through rainfall and snowmelt, but now these outflows to California farmland was causing some volatility in the water levels. Eventually in 1928, California entered an extreme drought, which led to even more pressure on Tulare Lake to provide much needed water to California farmland. More canals emerged out of Tulare Lake, running up the Central Valley, recently, but this time there weren't as many inflows. The Sierra Nevada mountains weren't getting as much snow in the winter, and the summers were drier than ever. At this point in time, there weren't many regulations on how much water individual farmers could use, so it was essentially a free-for-all between these farmers, using as much water from Tulare Lake as they could get a hold of. As you might expect, Tulare Lake drained significantly in size to just 5% of its former water level, but to your surprise, even today in 2023, Tulare Lake isn't totally gone.
Roads submerged, homes surrounded by water, chicken, dairy, and produce farms evacuated. A ghost of a lake in Central California resurrected.
Tulare Lake rose to its highest level since 1935, just earlier this year in April of 2023, where water was actually flooding many of the local communities. In the winter of 2022 to 2023, California received record snow and rainfall, which completely changed Tulare Lake's look. This lake had been dry ever since 1997, so communities started building houses, roads, farms, and businesses on the land where Tulare Lake once was. When all this snowmelt needed a low-lying region to settle, Tulare Lake came roaring back and flooded these newly constructed homes, farms, and businesses. The California government did their best to divert water away from where Tulare Lake once was, but gravity normally wins, and humans often lose. Humans would definitely lose if temperatures continued to rise so hot one day that Antarctica completely melts. To see what would happen if Antarctica completely melts one day, check out this video right here.
Right. I don't know about y'all, but I thought that was kind of interesting to know that it used to be. So when we move into these places, people have to take into account what's naturally there, what's naturally going on with the earth. So I don't know. Y'all thoughts?
Like do you believe that like America's like the biblical Holy Land?
I don't. If you, yeah, I don't subscribe to really any religion, but I definitely don't believe that.
Well, well, on ancient maps, man, they like basically like that lake or that sea they had right there. They allegedly they're supposed to be like the Red Sea. Like at one time, like California was like an island that had like a body of water between it, between that and the American mainland, and like the government basically they use a lot of dams to hold up their water basically just for like irrigation and farming. So they dried up all of these lakes and like one lake that like you probably is familiar with is Area 51 or Groom Lake. Like there was a lot of bodies of water out there that they basically held back using the Hoover Dam or whatnot. So to
Hmm.
like basically like dry up the land where it's like it can be livable and inhabited by basically holding back the waters. But the topography of the land back then, like to
I
me,
think it
it
did
okay,
change it, yeah.
yeah,
No,
it
I think it
definitely
did definitely change it. And then when you move into these areas and like you said, like, when the land starts to come back or when nature, starts to put into force what it's already been doing, but maybe doing it with a little bit more force at this moment in time, it starts to look like a natural disaster to us, but it's only a disaster because we're there. We probably shouldn't be there because
right,
like they were just showing some of the area where that they had started to build around, that was area where that lake was, and then when they had that record snowfall and had more water draining than usual, you saw what naturally happened. That water came back and then it flooded them out. But that's what, if they weren't there, that wouldn't have bothered anybody. It would have been the land just going through its natural process.
right, and they did this like all over like America. Like I think I'm just like speaking like roughly. I forgot the numbers, but like it's basically like in the thousands of like dams that they built all over America. Like just imagine if those dams weren't built, like what would be the topography of the land? Like
Yeah, you got water everywhere because it be coming down from the north in the Colorado River. But see, you got it diverted different places, and then you got different populations out there, the cities. different people using it up. I don't know what I know they have some limits and some restrictions, but they have them because I guess it's kind of dry out there right now. But yeah, they when they started moving out there during the gold rush and everything, that put a lot of demand. That's the word I'm looking for. They put a lot of demand on the land, and you don't know how it is when humans come to town.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think like their main excuse was like, basically like to farm the land, but like speaking theoretically though, like it's a lot of like underground like tunnels and stuff down there that are like very ancient. And do you believe that like Grand Canyon is like the ancient Egypt?
Well, I have heard some rumors about the Smithsonian and some stuff fall, but I don't have anything that I can share with that would be compelling one way or another because it's been a while since I looked into it. But if you want to share something, go ahead.
How do I like post a picture? I have a picture on my phone I would like to add.
I don't know how you would be able to do that from your end. I think you would have to be able to send it to us. But if you can tell me where to find it, and maybe I could look it up.
Hey, just basically look up Google a map, the U.S. map of federally owned land in America.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're saying. So give me a second to see
Yeah.
if I can pull that up.
But basically, like, I wouldn't say I believe in it wholeheartedly though, because like it gives credence to a reason like they'll like to basically lie that America is the true Holy Land. But basically, the federal government owns most of the land out west, and like for a reason. I really do believe that like there was something in the Grand Canyon. There is like cave drawings, like the actual Ark of the Covenant being hidden there and things like that, and like basically they keep the public out. Well, especially us black people, they keep us out for a reason because like I guess just to have control of that land over there and the resources and things like that that's hidden from us. Like in a place like Utah, for example, there's a lot of like biblical places there, like Mount Nebo, where Moses went and he got the commandments.
Now, if you're
Mhm.
saying this, where like you gotta really gotta have something to show for it.
In Utah, for example, like we'll have to look them
Like
up, but like
yeah, yeah. I want
yeah,
I want to be able to look that up because I don't believe none of that. But that's
uh,
because you're making
look up
some big claims right now.
look up Mount Zion in Utah.
Hold on, I'm trying to look up the first thing you told me about the
Okay,
federally owned. Let
yeah,
me
let's take a
see.
look at that. And like these
So
caverns, these underground caverns and tunnels and stuff have been linked to like basically like people coming up missing and things like that. Cause like it's it's a lot of things hidden underground that we've yet to like been disclosed about. And like the government is using those tunnels to basically like traffic and move things basically underground as well. Like
okay, this is one map. One
yeah,
map I see.
yep. And like I mean, basically in that area right there is like a whole bunch of like underground tunnels and things like that, and like including those wildfires, like where the wildfires took place at. Like they're trying to like build that bullet train, basically like to connect like Northern California to Southern California.
Right,
But
we
like
we showed a picture of that earlier, like the possible smart cities that
right,
they want to bring back in the Palisade area, I guess.
which one of those states is like Utah?
That would be up here.
Okay,
Okay, I don't know if y'all can see the mouse on. Can y'all see the mouse on the screen?
yep, I can.
Circling. Okay, right here.
But like yeah, man. I mean, that's just me though. Like, I think I can like speak theoretically about it, but like, they basically have a purpose for like seizing all of that land because of like what's hidden underground. Like, And
So why you think that? So you sound real, deep. We deep in the woods of a conspiracy. What have you information have you come across that makes you think that way?
because like the Mormons, for example, they're like basically like headquartered in Utah, and like this is
Mm-hmm.
a religious group that is known for like hiding a lot of our history, the history of the African American. Uh, they have a lot of
Yeah.
basically our historical records hidden underground in places like Utah, and like speaking with my Israelite bro, his name is I'm in Essence. He basically like made a correlation between like that being like the biblical holy land, and everything is like hidden underground. Like Utah, for example, it has a river, a Jordan River, Mount Nebo, Mount Zion, and
Well,
like
they have these by names. And I don't know the names of any mountains. Do you know where the names, like how those names, those
how they came
mountains or
about.
whatever? Yeah. Well, how did they get those names?
They uh, allegedly they've been called those names. Those names have always been there. Like they
That's what I'm
always.
asking. Like, yeah, like
Mhm.
so, like, how do we know like where the name came from? Like, how long a mountain in Utah has been called a certain name? How do we know that?
I mean, by looking at like the maps of older cartographers, basically they had like basically labeled like the Red Sea. It used to be a Red Sea right there between like California and the mainland. Like it's on maps, it was called the Red Sea at that time.
I mean, look, I'm gonna see if I can find anything. That would be very interesting to see.
And like, I mean, I would say that like if I was them, like if I was like the Freemasons or whatnot, and I was trying to hide the truth, like I would like employ like a smoke screen basically, and like label all those places over there in the Middle East the same thing to keep people from over here like into looking into the fact that like those stories in the Bible actually took place right here in America. I mean, they got a great reason to hide it because like black people have a connection to that because like their stories about them, like California, like the name comes from like a black Amazonian queen named Queen Khalifa. And like she inhabited like California, basically in those ancient days, and like yeah, just
Yeah,
things like that.
I've heard
like
that, and I know that, but what I don't like to do is to throw one piece of interesting, true information in with a whole bunch of things that we may or may
speculation.
not be able to validate. Because I don't understand about how where the name came from, but I can't say just because they didn't teach us that about the name that therefore
Right. Just take it as
that
truth.
therefore there's how do I say that since they didn't teach us that about the name that therefore the Grand Canyon was an Egyptian colony. I don't know. It may have been. It maybe it was, but I'm just saying we can't you know
But hey,
jump to
like,
those conclusions. I don't think so.
but like, why would they label those like as pyramids though? They had the Cheops pyramid. It's like they labeled like parts of the Grand Canyons like ancient temples, like the same way they did like in
Who? But
Africa.
see, that's the thing. Who labeled them? Because
I was
you don't have certain people don't label them. You can label. You can go out there right now and you as a person can call it whatever you want. So whatever you've seen when you say it's labeled, you know, a pyramid out there is labeled in the Grand Canyon. I'm gonna look on here and see what you're talking about and who labeled it.
hey, if
Because
you
just
can
because
just
they
try to
called it something, that don't
hey let's try to look it up if you can. You can just basically Google it
I'm
like
trying, but my computer only is so powerful. I'm doing that right now. I'm literally back here in the back trying to Google some of this stuff that you're saying, but
and I, and I think a
I
lot
don't
of it
have a
took place.
very powerful laptop here.
A lot of it took place like during the 1930s, during like after the basically the Great Depression. They formed like a department called the dang, the WAP. I can't think of the acronym or whatnot, but basically they start excavating and exploring these places, and basically the government labeled them as such, and like they they have like certain places where you can go out to the Grand Canyon and like you can basically lay down and look, and like they have the pyramids like labeled, like they basically named them that, like someone had informed them that, like, those pyramids were there, but like
So what do you want? What do you? Am I gonna type in pyramid, a label of pyramids in the Grand Canyon, and I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
find something?
yeah, possibly. Let's see what that pulls up, but like, it's as if they know. I mean, they found out some things that they had to keep away from the public. So, the government has to lie. They're gonna keep their secrets and everything. They're not gonna like bat 1,000 and just basically tell us, fully disclose everything. But like, it's cave drawings and everything that like would like basically suggest that like that is like the ancient Egypt, and that's from the
So
west all the way back to
let
Texas
me
as
let
well.
me share the screen that I got up, and maybe you can tell me
Okay.
what you might be looking at that you want to what picture you're thinking of. I
Yeah, right
typed
there.
in.
Yeah, like right there it says the Isis Temple, and
Okay, so what do you mean when you see this?
huh?
Let me see. I'm trying to make it as big as possible, y'all. 1 second. Click. Uh, hold on. All right, that's not working. Maybe I'll do like this. Can y'all see that? Wait, dang. How's that? Can y'all see that? Let's see.
Yeah,
All right. Now, what are you claiming when you see that?
I believe I see like a ancient pyramid that, basically like you see where that curved line is. Like it used to be water there. That's why they held back a lot of water. So the water levels was a lot higher, and everything is actually inside those mountains. I believe theoretically that like those mountains are like hollowed out, and like their ancient cities like basically underneath those. But at one point in time, like the water levels were a lot higher, and like basically they were able to be accessed. Like, and they basically held back the water and like basically kept people out, because like it's something there that like they don't need the public to like find out about. And like if they are saying that they found Egyptian relics, and we all often like associate Egypt with like Africa, like how did those relics get there? Like
How did the
this
way get there?
the Egyptian relics, like they had
Oh, the
like
ones that
mummy,
you think that they found in the
yeah,
because
in the Grand
what
Canyon.
I'm trying to do for you, what I'm trying to do for you in China, because I know what you're talking about. I came across this too. Um, I'm just more critical information I come across now as to how do I know that that's the case, and before I start, you know, really trying to put it out there that that is the case or that's what they're doing. Like what about this make you so sure in the shape? I mean, when you say a label, I don't know. Would I
Hmm?
see that if those words weren't there and those lines weren't drawn? Would I see that? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you have to be trained on it, because like we're not, no one is trained on it due to it being like hidden and kept as a secret. I think these people have like an ulterior motive, like basically to hide the fact that it is. Like I don't trust the government, so I think they have
Right.
a good enough reasons basically to lie about it if there was something there. But they published it in the newspaper article that there were findings, and they basically recanted all of that and said, "Hey, we didn't find anything. Don't worry about it. It was just made up. Like people were
It
tripping." But
definitely
like,
changed our mind 'cause, like I'm saying like it definitely would change the narrative of what we've been taught about history, period. Like that would mean everything's got to change, and I don't think that the mainstream wants to really go through that. I don't think the establishment
No.
is for that. So yeah, that's something to. And I think also while we're looking into it, we have to be critical and careful that we don't take all information, because when we do that, it's very easy to fall for the okie doke, or they can throw something in there that's so outlandish and something in there that will discredit you and have you thinking that the real stuff is crazy. You know how like for a long time to talk about UFOs and everything, it was crazy. Now
Right.
it's okay because we don't have congressional hearings and you got credible people coming out, people that are in position to know they're coming out, and we need more people to come out on some of this geology. Like the most like I don't hear people saying much about the Grand Canyon. But one of the things I will say is like you got Professor this guy named Dr. Robert Schoch who talks about water erosion on the Sphinx. Well, when he talks about that and he shows the evidence of how the water erosion looks, that right there is very compelling. But not only is it very compelling, it also is a huge paradigm shift for the mainstream geologists and pyramidologists. I shouldn't say pyramidologists. I mean Egyptologists. It's a shift for them because the last time it rained in that area would have been so long ago, far beyond the time that they thought that the Sphinx would have existed. And then you got to allow time for the erosion of that magnitude to take place, which it in itself is probably so many thousands of years. And they saying that the mainstream reports that the Great Pyramid is by Djoser, which is I think no longer than probably 3,500, maybe even 5,000, maybe it's 5,000 years ago. But the last time it would have rained over there, the end of the last ice age was about 11,000 plus years ago, and they're saying that it couldn't be that old. Well, the rock evidence says that it more than likely is that old. Now that right there is I think something because you got that evidence that's so compelling and it's being given to us by somebody that apparently knows his stuff, and we can look at it. We can literally go and look at it. Let me get this comment up on the screen. Let's see.
Well, I think we as a people, like especially our people, like we don't have like too many notable like what black archaeologists or geologists that I know of that like can basically go to these places and like basically publish their findings like as they find them. So I think it's something against us to like actually depend on these people that they'll basically come out and tell us the truth about what they're finding. Like the aging of things, the carbon dating and things like that, they're all subject to change and like their numbers are not just always accurate in regards to like what they're finding because like these people just recently made it here and like we're trusting their word as if they know what they're looking at, but like they don't even know what they're looking at. They can't even like basically decipher the things that they're finding or speak the language of what they're finding. So it's hard to depend on someone that's like basically trying to learn as they're going along as well. So they're basically making up a narrative about like what they believe these things are to be or like why they are there or whatnot. So basically in a sense they don't know themselves. And like I would think it'll give them a great reason to lie because like it has a direct connection to us as a people, so-called black people or the American Indians. But like I don't know.
Well,
I believe in it though, bro. Cause like that's the best. It I don't know. I would lie about it too to hide the significance of it to give me enough time to explore what else is down there because like
I see what
I
you. Well, I think
mhm.
you're trying to fill in some gaps. You're trying to fill in. some gaps on some get some answers on some things on some questions that you
Mm.
probably have, and that's cool because we all doing that. I'm making sure, I'm always asking questions about what's going on here, and looking into things and consuming information and trying to piece together what's really going on at a higher level. But when I'm doing that, I really have to be careful as to vetting the information that I have coming in and seeing if whether or not that comports to reality. And if it's one thing to believe it. I mean, to a certain extent, none of us have the resources, or most of us don't possess the resources to be there firsthand with a lot of this stuff and the knowledge. Um, some of it could be a conspiracy to keep melanated people, or it could be that some of us just not could we not just be in the field? Because I think at the end of the day, being in some of these fields, we just not in them. It's just some of these fields, these technical fields. Like when I was in military intel, we're just not in these fields. Let me see. You coming back in?
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I had a few
Okay,
calls.
some of us we're just not in these fields. So I don't know if I always I'm sure they try to keep us out. All of this happens. I think everything is so nuanced. There is no one answer for all of this stuff. But it's just I think you've got to be careful because the mind have you going off into like, oh well, this could work. If they were doing it for this reason, this would make sense. And while it might make sense in your mind, don't mistake it making sense for what actually happened. I hope you could hear me because I don't hear anybody anymore. I hope you can hear me and know that what I'm saying. Just because it makes sense in your mind with some of it doesn't mean that that's actually what happened. Because sometimes we dig up more information and then find out, oh, okay, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like I thought it was there. Because when you told me about the labeling of some of these places, just because you see a picture with a label on it, somebody labeled that. How did they come up with that label?
I think we as a people too, though, like me personally, like it took me some time though, but like I rather trust like my own understanding too. I know we've been trained like
Mm.
don't lean on your own understanding or whatnot, but like after
Oh,
looking
that's
into these
Bible
things,
stuff.
yeah, after looking into these things like over the years and stuff, I think I rather trust my own judgment in regards to like trusting these people judgment because they have been known to lie. But like I mean, I think we too as a people can speak theoretically on things too, and like come up with our own conclusion on things, basically based off observations. And I mean,
Yeah, for
it's
me,
okay.
when I look at it like this, like when I look at it, like I look at a picture, like I think I got it up there on the screen now, and they tell me, water erosion carved out the Grand Canyon over
Yeah,
how many years. I question that. I'm just gonna
yeah.
be honest
They're
with you. I
speaking.
question
They're
that.
speaking theoretically too. They're speaking from a theoretical perspective because, like they said, the Colorado River like eroded all of that over millions and millions of years. Like that's all speculative. Like they're basically guessing. In a sense, like what's the difference between their guess and your guess? Like I mean, we should have an open opinion to speak on these things as well, especially in regards to like this being our land, and like it's an open topic because like what they're presenting to us too is always subject to change as they go along and they find things. So you know, I rather trust your own judgment, like your opinion on it as well, as you being my brother, and like as opposed to like trusting those guys. They're foreigners. They just made it here in like the 1800s. So like, why are they destroying a lot of these things? And like, that's across America, including like the mounds that we know they destroyed
Hmm.
thousands of those, and like the things that was found buried, with our ancestors and whatnot. And it's happening all across America. Like, what is the point? What do they have to hide from the people? If
Right.
if those things aren't there. And
Right. I
you know,
think that go back to origins. We start talking about now the hiding, like maybe there's something out there that would really tell us, my brother, like about our origins in a definitive way where we wouldn't have to guess anymore. Maybe an organization, maybe a group out there definitely knows
the
that
Illuminati.
information. And how would we keep it? How would we find it out? I think it's going to be through these type of conversations and continuing to search, and ask questions. When we take everything at face value and accept what we're told all the time, we're
Hmm.
gonna have issues. Race free and truth be told channel. I have to do it. Peace and prosperity. Peace to Ricky James. And we're gonna be getting out of here in a minute. I just want to tell everybody to make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Also to the Truth Be Told channel and also to the Voice of Eli channel. We are about 6 subscribers away from 300, and we're trying to get to the 300. So y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe that out, and we will be coming back next week on Saturday with episode 9. And it will be different. To shift gears here just a little bit, my brother, while I have you here, and
Hmm.
get your take on this Monday and what's going on before we get out of here. Because we got. I've been telling people to be careful since last night and be careful in crowds. I know y'all probably have some parades or something on Monday. But I think people might want to be careful in these crowds because there
Right.
are some fight, some a population of folk out there looking to cause some issues. Whether you voted for the man or not, you could still be caught up in some mess. So be
Right.
careful, y'all. Be vigilant on Monday. And I say that because I was telling them early in the episode. I don't know if anybody heard it. If you're watching certain podcasts and you tune in to CIA targeters, certain people that come on and they're telling us things that they've uncovered. You could believe it or not, but apparently we could have potentially 1,000 or more um, potential terrorists that have already crossed our borders
Hmm.
and looking for to cause some issues in the upcoming days. And then y'all know the president-elect has said, haven't heard if they released them hostages yet. We were talking about that earlier, but he said that there will be hell to pay. And yes, this issues like this happen all the time, but I'm just thinking about how we should prepare or how this is going to affect that might mean when he says that if they don't release these hostages. So you got any thoughts on that, brother?
Oh yeah, you talking about like the Hamas situation and the ceasefire
Right.
agreement. Um, I fully support Trump though. But like, at least we have somebody like just basically gonna stand up for like the people or whatnot. Like, if there's gonna be a ceasefire agreement, like release everybody and like let's stop this. But you know, like be more vigilant as a superpower because like we send these people a lot of money too, and like basically like work with us or it's gonna be hell to pay. I'm actually with it. I think America needs to be more aggressive on issues like that, to like actually make a change because like our prior president, Biden, like it seems like they was allowing those things to happen. Like it wasn't much interference. So
Hmm.
he's making a step forward by, being the person the I would say I wouldn't say the aggressor, but like being the big brother in the situation, like, hey man, let's hurry up, speed this up, and like bring peace out of the ordeal. But yeah, just somebody that has a voice and like the power and to push things through, man. Like
Yeah.
be the big bad America. America is known for that. Like sometimes I think we're like a bully, but like, hey, it has to be done because like,
You do have that bullying going on, but you also don't want your country to be seen in a weak light, and you don't want
right,
things to affect you in such a way that your pocket starts to hurt.
right,
And Hey, I think we can get there. I think we can get there. So
All
if
right.
that's it, my brother, did you want to tell any people any way that they could find you or look into things you might be into since you're here? We're about to go.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can follow me, Annie and Will, NIKE 903 on basically any platform, and I like to come back next weekend and basically like present more evidence, get my information together, and like basically back up my case on why I feel as if like basically America is like the hidden promised land that they don't want us to know about, and speak more about like our heritage as a people and our connection to this land being America. But you can follow me on
Bet,
Facebook at Joshua Annie Young Will Stewart, and um, Annie Young Will _ Nike 903 on TikTok and Instagram.
bet, brother. Thank you for putting that out there, and shout out to D, my co-host, and shout out to all y'all who are listening. Y'all make sure again that y'all are like, share, subscribing. Y'all see the banner; it's been rolling, and any support that y'all would like to have on how I'm trying to upgrade the show, y'all can do so. That is scrolling at the bottom. And we are just going to let me see. Do I have my own video? I'm gonna find my Chief Khalid video to close us out with.
And shout out Chief
And
Cali.
oh yeah, yeah, man, I love this video. That's my brother there. Definitely all love to him. So let me get that up for y'all so y'all can enjoy the video. And peace, family. Love.
Peace to the tribes. Y'all have a good day.
Have a good one.
Dirty South, Southeast, Midwest, my piece, up top, down deep, East Coast, Northeast, copper skin, gold teeth, good green, good eats, cornrows, roll neat, big mama, big chief, still here, ain't gone, told lies, lied on, done dirty, done wrong, Jim Crow shit, niggas ain't fold, our land, our home, leave where, ain't going, big bricks, up north, down south, red soil, real tears, real fears, cards stacked, cards hid, games played, snakes near, Coattail Pro, leaders got killed, shotguns, big house, red clay, big mounds, cornbread, been fed, red bones, dark brown. This is for the tribes I know, copper tone strong, all my folks, prisoners of war, identity, change name, gon' land snow. This is for the home of the brave, this is for the land of the free, this is for them real Indians, past to the present looking like me. This is for the tribes I know, copper tone strong, all my folks, prisoners of war, identity, change name, gon' land snow. This is for the home of the brave, this is for the land of the free, this is for them real landlords, past to the present looking like me. Landlords, big and small, Seminoles, Chickasaws, Choctaws, Cherokees, all tribes in between. His story been wrong, our story getting told. No ships, no boats, been here, been home. TPs didn't own, out west didn't roam. Fried bread, hell no, soul food, that's gold. Raw truths unfold, our story rewrote, our land, our home, leave where, ain't going. This is for the tribes I know, copper tone strong, all my folks, prisoners of war, identity, change name, gon' let snow. This is for the home of the brave, this is for the land of the free, this is for them real Indians, past to the present looking like me. This is for the tribes I know, copper tone strong, all my folks, prisoners of war, identity, change name, gon' let snow. This is for the home of the brave, this is for the land of the free, this is for them real landlords, past to the present looking like me.